Ohayou gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We're giving live English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight, from the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka, we are going to bring you the second game of the three-game set between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It was a 7-3 victory last night for the Hawks as they used a number of pitchers en route to the victory over the Golden Eagles. So first of all, we're going to give you the starting lineup from the visitors from Tohoku. Leading off and in center field tonight is number 8, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting second and playing shortstop and wearing number 0 is Hiroto Kobakata. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 3, Hideto Asamura. And the cleanup spot in left field wearing number 35 is Hiroki Shimouchi. Batting fifth in right field wearing number 27 is Takeru Okajima. Batting sixth at first base is number 7, Daichi Suzuki. Hitting seventh and playing third base is number 5, Igor Emoji. Batting eighth at second base wearing number 48 is Yoshi Watanabe. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 26, Jinjiro Sumitani. And they are going to be facing the right-hander for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It's going to be Shota Takeda. He has no wins and no losses. He's only worked 6 2/3 innings this year, allowing 6 hits, 1 run, which has been earned. He's walked 5 and struck out at 11. He's got an ERA of 1.35. So that's the starting lineup for the visitors for the Golden Eagles. And now for the home team from Fukuoka, leading off and playing center field wearing number 23 is Yukio Shudo. Batting second and playing shortstop wearing double 0 is Hikaru Kawase. Batting third and playing second base is number 36, Taisi Makihara. And the cleanup spot and playing in right field is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 54, Alfredo Despania. Batting sixth and playing first base is number 7, Akira Nakamura. Batting seventh in left field wearing number 32 is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Batting eighth at third base is number 5, Nobuhiro Matsuda. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 19, Takuya Kai. And they're going to be facing the ace of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagle staff. It is going to be Makun, or Masahiro Tanaka, taking to the hill with his 6-7 record. He's worked 109 1/3 innings. He's allowed 93 hits, 34 runs, 32 of which have been earned, walking 19 and striking out 89. He's got an earned run average of 263. So those are the starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll be back here in about 60 seconds as we are about ready to get this one underway from the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game to go check him out as he's got his link in the channel right out of the gate for you.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number, either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deer Dick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss Baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out. We'll be back in about 45 seconds as the starting pitcher, Shota Takeda, is on the mound, ready to begin his warm-up tosses. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Shota Takeda is just onto the bump, starting his warm-up tosses. Just taking a look back at last night's ball game, it was a game of lost opportunity for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They stranded 13 runners on base and failed to capitalize with some clutch hitting to do some damage to really actually have the opportunity to put the Hawks away early. They left in the first couple innings, they left yesterday 5 runners on base. And then in progressive innings from the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, they also left 2 runners on base each inning that followed there. It was the Hiroki Shimauchi show last night for the Golden Eagles. He had 2 homers and knocked in all 3 of the Golden Eagles' runs. It was a pitching staff last night that had to use 9 pitchers last night to bring the game home for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Offensively, they got things going with a couple of runs of their own in the first inning. And then it was the Alfredo Despania hit a 2-run homer in the 5th, and that was followed back-to-back by Akira Nakamura. And that ended up putting the Hawks up to a 5-3 lead at that point. They tacked on a couple more in the 7th inning, as it was a 2-run triple by Takuya Kai that finished off the Golden Eagles. But this one is ready to get underway as Takeda has completed his warm-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one rolling. So we're happy to bring this one to you. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Golden Eagles here in the first inning. That means it's going to be Ryosuke Tatsumi, Hirota Kobakata, and Hideto Asamura. And here comes the first pitch of the ball game, and it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1, and we are underway from the PayPay Dome. For Tatsumi on the season, he's hitting .265. He's got 7 homers and 25 RBIs. And there is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander kicks and fires again, and there's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up behind home plate. Racing over toward the third base dugout is Takuya Kai. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire Tatsumi for the first out of the inning. So 1 Golden Eagle up and 1 Golden Eagle down here in the top of the first. And that is going to bring up Hirota Kobakata. For Kobakata on the season, he's batting .293. He's got a homer and 17 RBIs. Left-handed hitting shortstop. Had a couple of knocks in last night's game and was aboard 3 times. So Kobakata steps up to the plate, ready to face the first offering from Takeda. The right-hander rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kobakata. Takeda gets his sign from Kai, and he works quickly. As he kicks and fires, it's a fastball swung on it is line foul. It's into the camera well, just short of that temporary seating on the third base line. And the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering from Takeda, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses in. You can tell that the catcher Kai wasn't appreciative of that call. He really held that pitch a little bit longer. I think that pitch did miss down. He did a good job of receiving the ball, but just wasn't able to get under it enough. And there's a fastball swung on it as grounded foul past the bag at third base. The count remains at 1-2. You have to like Shota Takeda. He gets the ball when he's in the windup and he wastes no time. He's ready to go back into the motion pretty much as soon as he gets the ball. Here comes the 1-2 offering now to Kobakata as the right-hander shakes off his catcher Kai. And now Kobakata steps back, and we're ready to do this again. So the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch is coming here from Takeda, who kicks and delivers, and it is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So Shota Takeda only 6 2/3 innings this year as he gets the start tonight. He's allowed 6 hits, 1 run earned, and 5 walks and 11 Ks in his outings. He's going to have to take the burden off some of the relief corps, as the last 2 nights, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have really used their bullpens. There's a fastball swung on it, is fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Last night they had the pitching parade, and of course the night before when they played the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, that game went 12 innings. And they really rely on their bullpen. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Takeda rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul down the third base line, and the count remains at 2-2 to Kobakata. Kobakata is quietly enjoying a nice season, and he continues to raise his batting average as he's approaching the 300 mark. And here comes the 2-2 offering. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and it hits the home plate umpire in the forearm. That's going to keep the count at 2-2. It ended up chopping down into the ground as he fielded it. It came up and then it hit the umpire in the elbow, just below the elbow on the right side. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called third strike. Kobakata stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2, and he is retired here for the second out, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Hideto Asamura. For Asamura on the season, he's hitting .260. He's got 18 homers and 60 runs batted in. He's right now in the number 2 spot in the Pacific League in home runs. He is trailing only Yamakawa of the Saitama Seabu Lions. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say Asamura didn't go. So the count is ball 1, 1-0 to Asamura. The right-hander kind of walks into the motion, and he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. That last pitch was at 94 miles an hour. So the right-hander has some giddy up on his fastball. So here comes the 2-0 offering as he rocks into the motion again, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1 to Asamura. Last night's ball game, Asamura was one of the one of the Golden Eagle players that did struggle. He did not have a base hit, but he did have a couple of walks, as there is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. He was 0 for 3 with the 2 walks, but was stranded on base each time. Here's the 3-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and that is going to be ball 4, and Asamura is going to draw a 2-out walk. That is going to bring up the hitting star for the Golden Eagles in Hiroki Shimochi. Last night's ball game, Shimochi enjoyed a 2-run homer performance. He also had a single. He knocked in all 3 of the Golden Eagles' runs. But one of the highlights last night for Shimochi was the home run in the second at bat, as he had gone into double-digit pitches and facing the hot pitchers. And here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. We were talking last night, and we've mentioned this in the streams before, that Shimochi has a real professional approach at the plate. He's able to work the counts. He's able to battle. He fouls off pitches. He usually puts good swings on good pitches. And here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball that is check swing fouled away, and it came off the forearm of Takuya Kai this time. So a couple of strange situations. That ball bounced down, and it came right up off the forearm. That's going to run the count to 1-1. So Kai just needs a moment to get himself readjusted. And now we're ready to go again. Here comes the 1-1 offering. And Takeda delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2 to Shimochi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was the 20th pitch already of the inning here for Takeda. And most of them to the 2-hitter Hiroto Kobakata. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball that misses inside. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shimochi steps back in. He reaches to the other side of the plate, gets himself established. And now here comes the offering from Takeda. He checks the sign from Kai. He shakes him off a couple of times. And now he nods in agreement, and he comes set. So here comes the 2-2 offering. It's a fastball that is waved on and missed. And Shimochi is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it for the Golden Eagles here in the top of the 1st inning. So for Tohoku, they had no runs, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Golden Eagles, nothing. The Hawks coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 1st inning in just a couple moments after this from our friend, Dave.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game. and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate you, Dave, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Dave at Zero Fox. Be sure to check out the Game Changer Lounge and let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you. We'll be back in 45 seconds with the call at the bottom of the first inning. It is 0-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Masahiro Tanaka has just completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to resume the action here in the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be Yukio Shudo, Hikaru Kawase, and Taisi Makihara to come to bat here to face the ace of the Golden Eagle staff. On the season, Tanaka is one game below 500. He's 6-7 on the year. He's worked 109 and a third innings pitched. He's got 89 strikeouts, 93 hits allowed, 19 walks, and he's got a 2.63 ERA. And here comes the first offering to Shudo as he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Shudo hitting .295 on the season with 4 homers and 11 RBIs. He can run a little bit. He's got 10 stolen bases to go with it. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder Shimouchi. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Shudo for the first out of the innings. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Hikaru Kawase. For Kawase, he's hitting .278. He's got no homers and 6 RBIs. He gets the start again tonight, as Kenta Imamiya was brought off the bench last night. A little surprising how they're using Imamiya. Imamiya not in the starting lineup right now, and Imamiya has had a good season at the plate. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Imamiya, of course, is a sacrifice bunt machine. He's also been hitting up close around 300 this year, and there's a fastball that misses down and in. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The Golden Eagles are hoping to get some distance out of their starter Tanaka tonight. There's a fastball that misses down and in. The count is now 2-1. But certainly the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, back-to-back nights where the bullpen has been used in succession. The 12-inning game on Thursday that ended in the 3-3 tie against the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, and then they sent 9 to the hill yesterday. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kawase. So they would like to get some innings out of their starter, one would think, tonight before they have to pass it off to the bullpen again. And there's a split finger pitch swung on. It is tapped down the first base line. It is fielded but dropped by Suzuki in foul territory. So he was very fortunate on that one there. It had a little bit of spin to it as that ball hit, as the first baseman came over. Just as it was about to bound over the bag, it ended up taking a hard right turn. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kawase. Tanaka gets himself a new baseball. And he's ready to go back at it here. Here comes the 2-2 offering as he gets the sign from his catcher, Sumitani. He rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is line foul into the seats, just past the temporary seating, or just above the temporary seating, and the count still stays at 2-2. We have a good chuckle about the seating on the left field and on the right field line. There's a temporary seating on both sides. We've seen this before, and the fans that are sitting there are all wearing batting helmets, protective helmets. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. There is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count runs to 3-2. And then they have the netting, and then they have the what we would call the regular sections where the fans would be seated. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Tanaka rocks into the motion and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, and this is fouled off into the netting over by the temporary seating, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kawase. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up to the starting shortstop as Tanaka rocks into the motion, and he kicks and he fires. There is a fastball swung on it. It's grounded to the right side of the infield. Suzuki fields it. It's a race to the bag, and he's going to win it. And that is going to retire Kawase on a ground out. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for out number 2, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. For Yanagita, he's hitting .266. He's got 14 homers and 49 runs batted in. In last night's ball game, Yanagita was aboard a couple of times. He had a single and a walk. I'll check that. I'm one ahead of myself here. It's Taisi Makihara coming up to bat. Sorry, everybody. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into right center field, and that's going to get out for a base hit. And Makihara is aboard, so jumped myself up a little bit ahead of everybody here. So we've got ourselves a single, and that is a base hit for Makihara. We got Will Voggs in the house tonight. Welcome, Will. Thanks for stopping by. So Makihara aboard with a single, and that brings up Yuki Yanagita. We just said that Yanagita had a single, a walk in last night's ball game. He's hitting .266 on the season with those 14 homers and 49 runs batted in. It's from the left side against the veteran Tanaka. There's 2 gone here in the bottom half of the first inning. And Tanaka working from the stretch for the first time tonight. He holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Yanagita, one of the stars of Japanese baseball over the last number of years. He's probably, if not in the prime of his career, now maybe starting the downside of the prime. Here comes the 0-1 offering. And there is a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is now 0-2. He has lost a step throughout his last few years. He doesn't run as well as he used to. That, unfortunately for him, is partly because of age. At one point in time, you would consider him a consummate 5-tool player. He hit 30 homers and stolen 30 bases in a season. He's done that once in his career, but he's also hit more than 20 homers and stolen more than 20 bases a few more times. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Yanagita for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Hawks get themselves a runner on the single by Makihara. There was no runs, a hit. No errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles nothing, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. At the top of the 2nd inning, we appreciate you guys for stopping in. I'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day. And there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. We are going to be now heading here to the top of the second inning, and coming up to bat for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles will be Takeru Okajima, Daichi Suzuki, and Igoro Moji. That is number 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order to face the right-hander, Shota Takeda. Takeda ready to go back to work as he's facing a left-handed loaded lineup tonight. As he rocks into the motion and the first pitch is delivered, it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. For Okajima on the season, he's hitting .256. He's got a homer and 14 RBIs. Hitting from the left side against the right-hander Takeda, and there's a fastball that catches the inside corner, and he's now way ahead at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So here comes Takeda back to work. He kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. It's in the dirt, fielded by Kai. He's going to have to throw to first. That's going to go down as a strikeout, 2-3, to retire Okajima for the first out of the inning. So 3 pitches, and Okajima is retired, and it'll bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki, he's batting .253. He's got 3 homers and 19 runs batted in. So he's here ready to face the left-handed hitting first baseman as Takeda. As Suzuki waggles the bat, Takeda rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It as a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We will get you updated on all the other happenings around the NPB tonight. There is a full slate of games. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Suzuki. We will be back on the stream again tomorrow night with the same 2 teams, as we'll complete the series from the PayPay Dome. So here comes the 0-2 offering. There's a fastball that is swung on. This is belted foul down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats. It's going to keep the count at 0-2. Other games that are underway, there's one in the Central League. It is the Bay Stars and the Dragons. The game is locked at 0s in the top of the second. And here comes the pitch from Takeda. It's a breaking ball missing down, and the count is now 1-2. The only other game going on in the Pacific League is the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have a 1-0 lead over the Oryx Buffaloes. That's in the bottom of the first inning, as Oryx has a runner on with a couple out. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Games that start a little bit later at 4 a.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. Pacific time. Chiba and the Chiba Lotte Marines and the Saitama Sea Blue Lions go at it. And here's the 2-2 pitch. It is a split finger pitch swung on, popped up over on the foul territory on the left side. Coming over underneath it is Nobuhiro Matsuda. He's going to make the catch in foul territory, and that is going to do it for Suzuki, as he's retired for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Igoro Moji. The other 2 Central League games are later starts. They go at 5 a.m. Eastern or 2 a.m. Pacific. It'll be the Amuri Giants and the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, and the Hanshin Tigers and the Hiroshima Toyo Carp is what we're looking at over there. And so Masahiro Tanaka up and throwing in front of the dugout as he's going to be returning for his next inning of action. Here comes the offering from Takeda. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs to Moji for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. For Moji on the season, he's hitting .237. He's got 5 homers and 18 RBIs. He got the nod to start at third base tonight. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We've got Ali back in the house here again tonight, and he's asking the question, who does he bet on? That's a good question, Ali. We didn't throw anything out there before the game, and I don't know if you're asking us for help, but I don't know if we can get it to you. There's a changeup that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 on Moji. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Takeda. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Takuya Kai couldn't hang on to it as it was tipped. It went in and out of the mitt. That keeps the count at 1-2. So usually our friend Mick or some of the others are in here giving their thoughts on who they think is going to be where they've got their action today. So here comes the 1-2 offering. As Takeda delivers, it is a fastball swung on and grounded foul past the bag at first base. And that keeps the count at 1-2 strikes. So 1-2 strikes to Moji. The other thing for us is I just think about a little bit about we asked the question on our poll the other day of who bets on games and who doesn't. And I thought it very staggering. It was pretty much 50-50 as there's a fastball swung out. It's popped up on the right side of the infield. Coming underneath it is the first baseman, Nakamura. He's going to make the catch. And Moji is going to be retired for the third out of the inning, as that will do it here for the Golden Eagles. Well, they go quietly again. There was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now through 1.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Anthony Money in the house tonight. We appreciate you here, and thank you for listening in. We'll come back and chat with the chat after this. We also saw that you subbed earlier on, and we do appreciate that as well. Here's our friend Steve.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Sure to check him out, whether it's Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, the Friday No Filter Friday version, or his Saturday morning cartoons. He's got something for everybody. It is going to be Alfredo Despania, Akira Nakamura, and Tatsuro Yanagamachi to come to bat here. Our friend Anthony Money says this game is going under 6.5. And I have to say the pitching matchup that they have on the mound for both teams here would probably lend myself to be in agreement with that, as there is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. For Despania, he's hitting .244. He's got 6 homers and 12 RBIs. He fell a triple shy of the cycle in last night's game. But that would have been more the interesting one than anything else, as the big fella probably hasn't hit a triple in a while, as there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Despania. He stands in on the right side, waiting from the right-handed offering from the pitcher Tanaka, and there's a split finger pitch that misses down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2. Over the course of Despania's career, he's got 3 triples. Even had one last year at one point, but that is in 2,816 at bats, so he is not known for his speed. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole into left field, past the glove of Kobakata, and Despania is aboard. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. So Nakamura steps to the plate. He's batting .239 on the season. He's got 3 homers and 30 runs batted in. Nakamura, in last night's ball game, he went back-to-back with Despania in the 5th inning when they put up 3 runs on the board, did the Hawks. So here comes the first offering now to the left-handed hitting first baseman, as there is a split finger pitch that misses low, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The left-handed hitting first baseman Nakamura also plays a pretty good defensive first base. And here comes the offering now from the righty Tanaka. It's fastball swung on. It is grounded over to first. It is fielded by the first baseman Suzuki, and he steps on the bag, and that is going to retire Nakamura. But on the play, Alfredo Despaigne was on the run, and he was able to make that catch off the one hop, and then he tags the bag for the putout, but Despaigne is safe at second base. So that's going to go down as a ground out to 3. We've got Mick in the house tonight. We appreciate you being there, Mick. Mick, I was going to do that Major League game earlier today. Actually, it was a line drive double play. I have to apologize to everybody on that one, as it looked like it had hit the ground first before it came out, but that was actually going to retire Despaigne. So he would be gone for 2 out. And the first pitch to Yanagamachi is a ball that misses for ball 1. So I'm getting a little bit tangled up there. There's a breaking ball that's dropping in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So I got a little bit tangled up there. Our friend Mick in the house and trying to keep up with the chat. So here's the offering. It's a 1-1 pitch that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Mick had asked me yesterday if I was going to do a Major League game today, and I was going to do the Mets and the Braves. And thank God I didn't do it. That game was over in the second inning when the Braves had knocked out Taijuan Walker with 8 runs in an inning. It was a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2 to Yanagamachi. We're going to try to squeeze a big league game in at some point tomorrow, as well as the return leg of this one. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as Tanaka rocks into the motion. And he kicks and he fires. It is a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul over into the seats over on the third base side. That keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 2 gone here at the bottom of the second inning. We have no score between the Eagles and the Hawks. They're saying that the Hawks definitely need to get a good start out of Takeda here, as they have really worked their bullpen busy the last couple of nights. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Yanagamachi is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. That is going to do it here. They got no runs, they had a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 2 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles nothing, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back again. Our friend Mick says he's got Fukuoka, Hanshin, and Yokohama tonight. Come back and let them know our thoughts on that when we return. Right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you all being here. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming to bat for the Golden Eagles in the 3rd inning, and that means it's going to be Yoshi Watanabe, Junjiro Sumitani, and the top of the order, Ryosuke Tatsumi, to face the right-hander Shota Takeda. We got Eric Cheng in the house tonight, and we welcome him back. Our friend Anthony Money says, sorry, bro, it's an Eagles play tonight. Masahiro Tanaka is going to be the stopper in this one, I would think. I think that definitely he has, obviously, the ace of the Golden Eagles staff, able to give them a deep run, and also, too, as we talked about, the bullpen of the Hawks has been taxed here, as there's a breaking ball that misses to Watanabe, and the count is 1-0. So I think that would play into my selection if I was putting some nickels down on this one. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. On the flip side of the coin, the Bay Stars winning tonight. They're getting Chinichi again. That is generally a safe play, as there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. For Watanabe on the season, he's hitting .214. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. He's giving Hideto Asamura the night off at second base, as he's the designated hitter tonight. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And Watanabe is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. Friend Anthony says, I don't know about the Tigers either. The Tigers are playing the Carp tonight. And it was, I believe, a 3-2 game last night. That was a flip of the coin as Yuki Nishi knocked off Daichi Osera. That was a battle of the club's 2 aces, or who they feel are the aces of the club. And here comes the first offering to Sumitani. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Can't remember the pitching line on that game tonight. Usually I like to take a look and see who the starters are, as that will give you an indication of how I think the game will go. There's a breaking ball that's waved at and missed, and the count is 1-1. Look at the starters in that game between the Tigers and the Carp. As there's a split finger pitch swung on it, is lifted into center field. Camping out underneath it is the center fielder Shudo, and he makes the catch. It's going to retire Sumitani for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that brings up the top of the order in Ryosuke Tatsumi. Starters in that Tigers Carp game, it is Fujinami going for the Tigers. He's 0-1 with a 4.29 ERA, and Drew Anderson, who's 3-4 with a 3.36 ERA. I'm kind of contemplating a little bit tonight, maybe staying around and maybe doing one of those games in the Central League. If I can keep my eyes open, we'll try to do it. And here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. We did it last weekend where we did the double dip. Tomorrow it will work better in my favor to do it, but I just don't think I can stay up and do it. Got some other commitments to have to do. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. But I'll look to maybe try to do that game, or maybe even the Giants or the Swallows. It's Daisuke Noe versus Ranji Kazawa. I don't really know those guys all that well. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1, so it'd be good to see some games in the Central League, or at least I think it would be good. And here comes the offering. It is a split finger pitch that misses down and in. And that is going to miss. That's going to run the count now to 3-1 on Tatsumi. Our friend Eric says the games were a tad earlier today. Well, it feels like it. We're going to call the game tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, North American time, which will be the Thursday game. It's the Mountain Holiday. I believe they call it Mountain Day or Mountain Holiday in Japan. It's August the 11th. We are going to be doing a midweek game. I believe it's going to be Oryx and Tohoku, but I have to double check on that one. And as there is a fastball swung on it, has popped up over towards second base. The barrel of the bat was shattered, and it is going to be caught by the second baseman Makihara, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in the top of the third inning, as they go quietly with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through 2.5. It is the Eagles nothing, the Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the third in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys have dropped in with us. It is much appreciated that you're here. Hang tight. There's another Japanese memory. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising now here to the bottom half of the third inning. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. Nobuhiro Matsuda, Takuya Kai, and the top of the order, Yukio Shudo, to face the right-hander Masahiro Tanaka. Third baseman Nobuhiro Matsuda last night, the veteran, he's in the twilight of his career. He doesn't have the game that he did a few years ago, but it was a really important play back in the first inning of last night's game, an absolute hustle play with 2 out and the bases loaded. He hit a slow chopper to the shortstop that Kobakata had to really charge and make a tough play on, and Matsuda beat the throw by a half a step. It was great hustle play to be able to catch that other run across as he swings at a first pitch, split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. You have to like those type of plays. You see some of the players, and you watch the North American game and you watch the Japanese game, and there's some guys that really can bring their A game. And Matsuda here, when we watch him play, he's a consummate professional. As he fouls that pitch away, it is going to reach the seats over on the first base side, and now the count is 0-2. As I said, he's not quite the player he once was. He's only hitting 193 on the season with no homers and 7 RBIs. But he's getting the start again tonight, back-to-back nights in front of the home crowd in Fukuoka. So here comes the offering from the right-hander Tanaka. It's a split finger pitch and misses down. And the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Eric said the game's a tad earlier today. The other thing is that tomorrow the game is going to go off at 9 o'clock Pacific or 10 o'clock or midnight on the East Coast. And there's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. Suda couldn't hold it up. He ended up going just a little too far around, and he is retired for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. For Kai, he is batting 199 on the season. He's got no homers and 16 RBIs. He had a triple that knocked in 2 runs in last night's ball game that iced the game for the Hawks. As he takes a fastball down and away for ball 1, the count is 1-0. Kai had the outfield had been playing shallow because there were runners at first and second. He ended up shooting the ball into the right center field gap. It got all the way to the wall, and he was able to make it all the way around to third. As a fastball misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. One thing about Masahiro Tanaka is he is very, very efficient in his pitches. As there's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 2-1. He does not throw a lot of pitches for balls, and he doesn't walk many, as it is only 19 walks in his 109 innings pitched this year. Very, very good stuff. So basically 1 walk every 5.5 innings. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. Lots of props to him as he spent his 6 years of his prime in a New York Yankees uniform. He came back to Japan, back to the Golden Eagles, where he began his career. There's the 2-2 pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Kai is gone for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's 3 strikeouts in a row by the right-hander Tanaka, and they'll bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. For Shudo, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He's popped out to the left fielder his first time up. Shudo entered the game tonight hitting .295. Those 4 homers and 11 RBIs. So Tanaka rocks into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Shudo waggling the bat, waiting on the delivery here from Tanaka. There's a split finger pitch, swung on it, missed, and the count is 1-1. The batter Shudo there literally almost jumped out of his socks. That's the one thing. When the hitters go swing at that split finger pitch, it seems like they really fly their front side open and they yank their head as there's a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Tanaka again ready to go back to work. He works into the windup and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-1. Well, if you're going to walk somebody, Shudo's not one to walk. He's got 10 stolen bases on the year. Only Taisi Makihara in the lineup tonight has as many. Everybody else pretty much for the Hawks don't run particularly very much. There's only 1s and 2s and 0s the rest of the lineup through. As there's a fastball swung on and it's fouled off again. And again it hits the home plate umpire. So we're playing some pinball behind home plate tonight. That's twice the home plate umpire has been hit. And once for the home team catcher, Takuya Kai. So you got another one in the forearm area. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's going to need the ice pack after this one. So here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball that just misses inside. That is going to be ball 4. It brings a smile to the face of the ace, Masahiro Tanaka, as that is going to allow Shudo aboard with a 2-out walk. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Hikaru Kawase. Our friend Mick says, hopefully everyone hits tonight. Hanshin need to lay it to the carp. As I said, I took a look at those starters. Fujinami versus Anderson tonight. I don't even remember seeing Anderson pitch earlier this year. Don't know a whole lot about that group. Like I said, I might want to stick around. If I stay up, I might look to do the Giants and the Swallows. That would be entertaining from my end of things. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball off. To second goes the runner, Shudo, and he's going to steal second base safely. As he's got himself a stolen base, he's in scoring position. So on the first pitch delivered by Tanaka, he was off to the races, and that's going to be number 11 in the books for him. Catcher Sumitani had a pretty decent pitch to be able to deliver, but the jump by the base runner has given him his 11th stolen base on the year in 12 attempts. So the first pitch was a strike to Kawase, and here comes the offering now from the righty Tanaka, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now is 0-2. Kawase tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded to first his first time up. As we said, he gets the short start at shortstop tonight over Kenta Imamiya. So batting from the left side, Kawase holds the bat up about shoulder level, waiting on the offering here from Tanaka, who's concerned with Shudo at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats just over the third base dugout, and it keeps the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So the right-hander again, Tanaka checks the sign from his catcher Simitani. And now he comes set at the belt. Again, he checks the runner at second. Checks him again. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch and misses down. And the count is 1-2. 46 pitches so far here for the star of the Golden Eagles. And here comes the offering from Tanaka. It's a 1-2 pitch as he holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted to left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Retrieving it is the left fielder Shimauchi. He throws it in. It's going to be cut off, and it's going to be an RBI double for Kawase, as that is going to allow Shudo to score. That's going to put the Hawks up 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. An RBI double. Well, they had to have the outfield shallow because they were staying in so they could possibly play and throw out the runner at the plate. That ball ended up getting sliced over the head of Shimauchi, and he had to turn and run all the way to the wall to get it. As he fires it back in, Kawase is aboard at second with the double, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. A bit of a hard luck year this year for Masahiro Tanaka in so many ways. The 3-2 pitch was deemed to be a ball. It just missed being inside. Then the walk to Shudo, that really hurts because he's able to take second base, and then a base hit brings him in. So 1-0 here for the Hawks as Tanaka holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up behind home plate. That is going to reach the seats, and that's going to run the count now to 0-1 to Makihara. Makihara tonight, well, he is 1 for 1. He singled his first time up in the first inning, but he was stranded at first base. No balls and 1 strike. He bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Tanaka. As Tanaka holds set again, he checks the runner at second. And now he delivers. It is a split finger pitch, misses down. A good block by the catcher, Simatandi, to keep it in front. Our friend Eric says Giants and Swallow has a total set at 9.5. That's super rare. So if you'd like to call some offense, that should be the game to call. Yeah, well, last night it was a really strange game. It was, I believe, a 9-0 lead, or it was 9-1, entering into the 9th inning for the Giants, and the Swallows had stuck 4 on the board and were threatening for more. The Swallows uncharacteristically getting blown out last night at home by the Giants. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now is 2-1 strike. So that one there at the Jinju. I've been to the Jinju Stadium. I haven't been inside. I've been around it. The Olympic Committee offices were pretty much across the street, just up a bit. The opportunity to be able to see the outside of the stadium. The first year I was there, it was under renovations. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded over to third. Fielded by Moji. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Makihara on a ground out 5-3. Interesting that he maybe didn't apply a tag to the runner. It looked like Kawase almost ran into the tag. That is going to do it here for out number 3. There was 1 run in the inning, and there was 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. And we are now through 3 complete innings. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 1, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you all for being here, and I'll come back and chat with the chat. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 4th inning. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming to bat for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That means it's going to be Hiroto Kobakata, Hideto Asamura, and Hiroki Shimouchi, as they are going to be facing the starter Shota Takeda, who is on for his 4th inning of work. The right-hander, 49 pitches through the first 3 innings of work. Sand delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Kobakata, his first time up, he struck out looking. He had a battle with the right-hander as he took him to 9 pitches in that at-bat. And there's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up behind home plate. Racing back is Kai, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats. And the count now is 1-1 strike. I was giving thought on this as Daniel Oro jumps in and he says, "Let's go Hawks." Appreciate you for being here, Daniel, and thanks for stopping by the channel. I was saying this, I saw the game earlier in Fukuoka, and the dome roof was open, and it was something that I really haven't seen before or since. And I don't know why that is, if it's because of the heat or weather or whatever it might be, but certainly changed the dynamic because there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-1. I think it was one of the games that we did in the interleague play. I go back and remember when that was, but I found it very fascinating. As here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's kind of like the Rogers Center in Toronto. When the dome is open and the dome is closed, it seems to affect how the ball travels. Our friend Eric said about both teams starting meatballs pitchers tonight for the Giants and the Yakult Swallows, as there's a fastball down, and again it hits the umpire. It's going to run the count to 3-2. Our umpire behind home plate today, he is just getting beat up. We're going to have maybe the umpire meter going here. It's 3 times he's been dinged on either foul balls or pitches that have bounced up and come and got him. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It's fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. And the count remains at 3-2. Asamura and Shimouchi to follow here in the 4th inning. As we were talking about, the ball will travel differently in Rogers Center when the dome is open or when it's closed in Toronto. There's a fastball swung on. The bat is broken. It's grounded over to first. There's a race to the bag, and it's not going to be in time as Kobakata is able to beat it out. We're going to have a look at this one as they're going to go up and take a look. They are going to go as they are looking for the VAR as Fujimoto comes out of the dugout. What happened was the ball was chopped over to the first baseman, Nakamura, and as the pitcher was having to come over to field it, he had to kind of step over the bat that was broken, that was hit down the first baseline, so he had to avoid stepping on it, and that changed the gait of Takeda to be able to get to the bag, and then they delivered the throw over. We haven't got the replay of it yet, but we're going to take a look to see if they were able to retire him or not. We'll make our decision before they come back here, but the bat was sawed off. Bat goes down the first base line, and then running over, he has to avoid it. And on that angle there, it did look like Kobakata was able to beat it out. We're going to get a different one here. And it looks like, maybe Takeda got to the base before Kobakata. It'd be interesting here to see what they come up with. That angle there changes the dynamic for me a little bit here. We're going to get a third angle on this one. And on the third angle, I think Kobakata beat it out. So I'm going to stay with the call. I'm going to say that the call on the field will stand. We've not always been right in other times, but I'm going to give this one here to Kobakata. So let's see what the umpires say when they come back here. And the call on the field is going to stand as the umpires have come back and have made their decision, and that is going to be a infield single for Kobakata here to lead off the 4th. That is going to bring up Hideto Asamura. So for Asamura, he has a plate appearance, but no at bat as he walked his first time up. So Asamura steps to the plate, batting .260 on the year. He's got 18 homers and 60 runs batted in. He is second in the Pacific League in home runs, only trailing the Saitama Sibu Lions Yamakawa, who hit his 31st last night. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. For ball one, the count is 1-0. Yamakawa is light years ahead of everybody else in the Pacific League. He can probably take a month off and still come back and be ahead. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here's the pitch from Takeda. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Asamura. Shimouchi to follow here in the 4th inning as they are into the meat of the batting order for the Golden Eagles. So right-hander against the right-hander. Takeda holds set. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Asamura. We will be back, as we mentioned, for these same 2 ball clubs again tomorrow night, except it's going to be an hour earlier start. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball that just catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2 on Asamura. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll keep an eye here on the base runner Kobakata. He can run a bit. He's got 15 stolen bases. They'll try to keep themselves out of the double play. So the right-hander Takeda leans in. He gets the sign from Kaya, and now he delivers. It's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 3-2. I will say this about Takeda. He's very quick to the plate. Our friend Ali comes in and he says, do I bet Eagles now? Well, some people in the chat might tell you yes, and some people no. I still like the Eagles with Masahiro Tanaka on the hill. You just got to find a way to score a run here. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And heading down to second base with the stolen base is going to be Kobakata. I'm curious to see if the umpire interfered with Takuya Kai. Asamura stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by for out number 3. Let's see if there was any interference there at all. Nope, Takai just lost the handle. Takuya Kai did. It's going to be a stolen base for Kobakata. He's got himself into scoring position. Asamura's retired for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Hiroki Shimouchi. For Shimouchi tonight, he's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. So we mentioned last night he had 2 homers and drove in all the runs for the Eagles in the ball game. So here comes the first offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's into the corner. It's going to be trouble. Rounding third and heading home is Kobakata. The throw comes in, and it is going to be a long single for Shimouchi, but he's going to get himself yet another RBI in the series. And that is going to tie the ball game up at 1 right here. So our friend Ali, who popped into the stream and is saying, hey, should I go with the Eagles or what? Well, that's the reason why. For most people, unless your name is Daniel Oro, then he's cheering for the Hawks. So we are all knotted up at 1, and that is going to bring Takeru Okajima to the plate. So for Okajima, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. Batting here against the right-hander Takeda. We're all knotted now at 1s here in the top of the 4th inning. Our friend Eric earlier, I think it was Eric, jumped in and he said it was 6.5. Or no, it was maybe Anthony who said it was 6.5. Was the over-under on this one. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And this one here with the 2 pitchers on the mound, I'd be leaning toward that will be not as good as the other. So here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike to Okajima. Okajima got the start in last night's ball game as well, and he had himself a base hit in 5 trips to the plate. Comes the 1-1 offering from Takeda, who kicks and delivers. It's another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and now the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daichi Suzuki will follow here should Okajima reach safely. So here comes the 1-2. Again, Takeda holds at the belt. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It just missed Daichi Suzuki, who was in the on-deck circle. You got to keep your heads up over there, Daichi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, getting himself dug back in is the left-handed hitting Okajima, waiting on the offering here from Takeda. Checks the runner at first, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to just be over the dugout at third base, and the count remains at 1-2. Golden Eagles, generally speaking, I really like their offense. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough pitching in October to do damage once they get into the playoffs. That would be my big concern. Outside of their ace, are there other guys going to be able to perform if they get into the playoffs. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. Grounded over to second. They go to second for one. Back to first. It's not in time. It's going to be a fielder's choice. 4-6 to erase Shimauchi for the second out. Okajima is safe on the back end, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He popped out to the third baseman his first time up. So the runner at first is Okajima with 2 gone here, and the Golden Eagles already have 1 run across the board here in the inning, as they've knotted the score up at ones. So Suzuki digs in, ready to face the first offering from the right-hander Takeda, and he throws over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner, Okajima. I wonder if they're going to challenge the arm again here of Kai. Okajima does not have a stolen base on the year. The only other player that's got close to double digits is Tatsumi, who's got 9. And of course, with the stolen base by Kobakata, it gives him 16. The first pitch there to Suzuki misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Daichi Suzuki. Takeda holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we take that quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard in between here, it's now a 2-1 ball game for the Oryx Buffaloes over the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. That's in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And here's the pitch from Takeda. It's a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. It's going to run the count to 1-2. The only other game that's going on is the Bay Stars and the Dragons in the Central League, and that's at 0-0 in the bottom of the 4th. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Suzuki. He waits here on the offering from Takeda. Takuya Kai gives the sign to his starter, and now he comes set. He checks the runner at first, and now he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to second, fielded by Makihara. He backhand tosses it to the shortstop covering second base, and that's going to retire Okajima on a fielder's choice, 4-6 for out number 3. But they got a run in the inning to the Golden Eagles. They had 1 run. There were 2 hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 3.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 4th inning. In just a couple moments. We're glad you guys could be with us. Here's our friend Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. That's Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after the ball game. Our friend Vivid Life is checking in. We missed him over the last couple of nights, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with the call in just a moment, everybody. We're glad you're with us tonight. It is 1-1 Hawks and Eagles. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the Hawks batting order coming up to face Masahiro Tanaka here in the 4th inning. And it'll be Yuki Yanagita, Alfredo Despaigne, and Akira Nakamura to get things going against the Tohoku right-hander. Tanaka gave up a run in the 3rd inning, and the Hawks were not able to hold him down as the Golden Eagles came right back with one of their own in the top of the 4th. So here we go back to the action as he rocks into the motion. The first pitch to Yanagita is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. For Yuki Yanagita, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up, batting from the left side against the right-handed ace of the Eagles staff, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. One would expect tonight that both of these two arms would hopefully go 6 or 7 innings for these clubs. Certainly the Hawks will be looking for that out of their starter as the fastball is swung on and fouled away over the third base side. As we mentioned, it was the Hawks bullpen has been taxed the last couple of nights. 9 pitchers yesterday used by Fukuoka. Night before, when they went 12 innings against the Fighters, they went deep into their bullpen as well. There's another fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rocking into the motion is Tanaka, and he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Yanagita. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to try to possibly stick around and be able to maybe do another game tonight. We're eyeballing a Central League game, depending on how we feel. So there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagita. If it allows us to be able to do it, we'll make that call. So Yanagita fouled that one off. If Steve Rademacher is still in the house, maybe we'll get him to stay with us too. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on, and it is sniped foul behind home plate. Keeps the count at 2-2 Yanagita. Starting to have a bit of a battle on our hands here, as this is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to the Fukuoka right fielder. We got Eric Sanchez in the house tonight. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Yanagita for the first out of the inning. So our friend Eric comes in asking the question. He goes, does anyone know a live stream site? We sure do. And we'll give it to you here. We're not going to put it in the chat because that'll get us in trouble, and we don't put it into the stream. So just stick with us here, and we'll give you a opportunity of where to hunt it down. The only problem is it's not going to be in English. So what some of the folks do is they sync their stream to what we're doing here so you can watch and listen. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Despania. So if you go to Google and you type in Live QQ, that'll take you to the site. Now, once you get there, there's going to be all kinds of lettering, and you're going to have to navigate through some of that stuff. So hopefully you get your translate on, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 0-2 to Despania. And so once you do that, as I say, there's all kinds of different things, and it is a bit confusing at first, but you'll be able to hunt it down and be able to get something there for yourself. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as they throw a fastball, and that is swung on and missed. And Despania is down on strikes. Boy, I have to tell you, that was one of the fastest pitches we've seen Tanaka deliver in a long time. That was up at 95 miles an hour as he blows that right by Despania for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that is going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. So, Eric, if you got it, if you don't have it, then we'll try to help you through that a little bit. AJ says the live streams are at the bottom of the page, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-0. AJ's onto it as well. He knows exactly what we're talking about. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. There is the 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. That way you can enjoy the game if you sync it to our feed, and you can watch it over there. Here comes the 2-0 offering. As they kick and deliver, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 3-0. Now, I always should preface that a little bit because it depends on where you're at globally, where you can get that game or that site or not. So if you're in North America, you should be able to enjoy something like that. So here comes the 3-0 pitch. And there is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1 to Nakamura. So 3 balls and 1 strike. 6 strikeouts so far in the ball game here for Tanaka. He is working a little bit above his normal pace, as he doesn't quite strike out one an inning anymore. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And there is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. The count is now full to Nakamura. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Tanaka gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He shakes off the sign, and then he gets the sign he likes. He rocks into the motion. Here's the 3-2. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is fielded by Watanabe at second. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out, 4-3. And that will do it here for Nakamura in his half to end the half of the inning for the Hawks. So there was no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're through 4 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 5th inning when we return after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. Hang tight, everybody.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game to go check him out. Let him know Last Drafts Baseball sent you. And he will make sure he always responds to everybody because he's just that kind of guy. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up in the batting order here in the top of the 5th inning. That means it's going to be Agora Moji, Yoshi Watanabe, and Jinjiro Sumitani to face the right-hander Shota Takeda. Takeda on for his 5th inning of work as he rocks into the motion and delivers. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Sometimes I've got to wait on this home plate umpire a little bit because he's a bit erratic in some of his calls. I thought that pitch looked pretty good. Comes the 1-0 pitch. And then it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. And there, that pitch there. The first pitch looked better than the second pitch. That's what you have there sometimes. So here comes the 1-1 offering as Takeda rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Moji. This game here has had a much better pace to last night's game. Last night, about 4 hours, almost 4 hours to complete that one. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is going to remain at 1-2 to Moji. As we take a peek at the out-of-town scoreboard, it's the top of the 4th inning. In Osaka, the Buffaloes still have a 2-1 lead over the Fighters. That's the only other game going on in the Pacific League. And here's the 1-2 pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. And Moji is down looking here for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Yoshi Watanabe. In the bottom of the 5th inning, it is the Dragons and the Bay Stars all knotted up at 0. I would not have predicted that game would have been a 0-0 ball game through 5. That's exactly what it is. It's the only game going on in the Central League right now. All the other games are later starts. And here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Watanabe. Watanabe tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up, as he got the nod tonight over the designated hitter, Hideo Asamura, for the start at second base. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. The count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. One thing I noticed today, or I've noticed in our stream here, our friend Eric says he's got it. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Make sure you sub to the channel here, Eric, and check out our games in the future when we're on, and hopefully you can join us for other stuff. There's a fastball swung on. It is lined over to the third baseman, Matsuda. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire Watanabe for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Simatani. Our friend Mick says, let's go Hawks, let's go Tigers, and let's go Bay Stars. So Mick is waving the pom-poms tonight. I take it no work tonight, Mick, because he's usually on the midnight shift somewhere, much like our friend Vivid Life. So here comes the first offering from the right-hander Takeda. It's a slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. For the catcher, Simatani, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center field his first time up. And here comes Takeda rocking into the motion, and there's another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Vivid Life asked the question. He goes, so what are your thoughts on the Yankees basically robbing the A's? As here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Simatani for the third out of the inning. Second strikeout of the inning recorded by Takeda, and that is going to do it here in the 5th, the Golden Eagles. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Our friend Vivid Life asked that question. I think you said it right there. They robbed the Yankees. Your score at the end of 4.5, it's 1-1. We'll be back in just a moment after this to chat with our chat. We appreciate you all for being here. Bottom of the 5th is coming up. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That means Tetsuro Yanagamachi, Nobuhiro Matsuda, and Takuya Kai to face the right-hander Masahiro Tanaka. Our friend Mick said that his work started a little later as there was an accident on the highway. That's always a bit of a problem. I don't know what the Denver highways are like. I sure know what they're like up and down the I-5. All the way down to Portland, you get an accident on the highway on the I-5, and there's certain pockets where you got nowhere to go. There was a number of years ago when I first moved out this way, there was a trucker that took out a bridge. And it was Burlington or Mount Vernon, Washington, in that area there, and it ended up being where it was like a 3 or 4 month rebuild. And there's a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yanagamachi. And those people who had to drive down the I-5 had to do this big loop to get around the river. I think it was the Skagit River, if I'm not mistaken, where the bridge was taken out. And there is a fastball that misses upstairs, and miraculously, not only did the trucker take out the bridge, but there were other cars that went down into the water, and nobody was killed. That was the amazing part. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-1, and there were other cars that went into the drink with the truck. So there were some very fortunate people. Make sure you run out and get your lottery ticket after an event like that. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Yanagamachi checked his swing, but the home plate umpire went up with it, and that is going to run the count at 2-2. It looked like it was outside. And I think that the Fukuoka hitter would probably agree with my sentiments. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Matsuda and Kai to follow here in the 5th inning. So Tanaka rocks into the windup. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside. That is going to be ball 4 as Yanagamachi has got himself a leadoff walk here. It's uncharacteristic, as we said, that usually the right-hander Tanaka is pretty good at not walking batters. He's only got, coming into the game, 19 walks in 109 innings. It's basically 1 every 5.5 innings. And tonight he's already walked 2 in 4+ innings. So Masuda comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. His average has slipped to $1.90 on the year. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Tanaka. So Tanaka ready to go back to work here. Yanagamachi only have a couple of stolen bases on the year, but you do have to keep an eye on him as he can run a little bit. And here comes the first pitch from the right-hander. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole past the third baseman into left field. And that is a base hit for Masuda, so he continues to make things happen in his time here with the Hawks. That's going to put runners at first and second. We talked about him last night as he had an infield single, did Matsuda, to cash in the second run for the Hawks. It was a complete hustle play. He's not getting the opportunity to play regularly and as much, but he still is able to produce, that's for sure, when given the opportunity in small portions. So that is going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring Takuya Kai to the plate. The Hawks are in double play depth, but the corners are in. They're anticipating a bunt here in this situation as Kai is struck out his first time up. So Kai gets himself set. I'll call it right now. You got to be thinking that he's going to be squaring to bunt as the leadoff hitter Shudo is waiting on deck. That's exactly what it is. He's got himself preset. He waggles the bat, and now stepping off the backside of the rubber is Tanaka. We're going to do this all over again. I really like the catcher Takuya Kai. I like the way that he handles the staff. He's not known for his hitting, but he has some clutch moments for the Hawks, that's for sure. And here comes the pitch from Tanaka, and he squares the bunt, and he fouls it off right at home plate. The defense was crashing as Daichi Suzuki was literally shaking hands with the hitter. So no balls and 1 strike. This is a turning point in the game. We know we usually get a lot of people jump in the 5th inning because if they're playing their wagers, the 5th inning in the first 5 is important. He scores a 1-1 line here, and the Hawks have got a threat going here with runners at first and second and nobody out. So Kai again squaring the bunt. And here comes the pitch from Tanaka, and it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kai. Curious to see what they have going here. Golden Eagles brass is looking on from the dugout. It's a much better crowd tonight in Fukuoka. I don't know what the attendance will be. I don't think it's going to be 30,000. Still a lot of empty seats in the outfield, but a much more healthier crowd than we saw last night. So here's the 1-1 pitch. And there's the fastball. It swung on, it is bunted right back to the pitcher. And it rolls past Tanaka as there looked like there was some confusion. I'm not sure if it was how they're going to rule that. They are going to rule it as a hit. As Takuya Kai has got himself a single, that's going to load the bases. The bases are full of Hawks with nobody out. Suzuki was charging in hard. Tanaka, the bunt was right back to Tanaka. It wasn't the best of bunts. It was right back to the pitcher. We'll get the replay of this one. He's able to get it down, does Kai. Tanaka comes off the mound to field it, and then he pulls back because Suzuki was right there. And the ball ended up getting right by him. So nobody actually ever touched the ball. So the veteran Tanaka, an uncharacteristic, boneheaded play, and I think he knows it, as he looks to the heavens above. That is going to bring up the top of the order in Yukiya Shudo. So Shudo tonight is 0 for 1. He's walked, stolen a base, and scoring a run. And here we go here. And the first offering from Tanaka is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So if there was an opportune time for a strikeout, this is where the veteran Tanaka is going to have to rear back here. The defense is in. They've got the corners in. The middles are, what I would say, not quite in there, maybe a couple of steps behind there. We've got our friend, the living room, in the house here tonight. And so here comes the 1-0 pitch to the left-handed hitting Shudo. And he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is chopped over to the shortstop. Kobakade comes home with it. And the throw is in time. And that is going to be a fielder's choice, as that is going to race Yanagamachi at the plate. So that's going to be a putout, 6-2 for out number 1. It's going to keep the bases loaded as Matsuda advances to third. Kaya is at first. And then Shudo, of course, reaching on the fielder's choice. As we go back and look at the replay, a nice job by the catcher, Simatani, who had to receive it as if he was a first baseman. So bases are still loaded with 1 gone. Brings up the shortstop, Hikaru Kawase. A friend of the living room said, back from sick betting cooler that ruined a beautiful round-robin parlay and had big potential. Felix Auger-Aliassime blew it. That's got to be tennis. So here comes the first offering from Tanaka. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kawase. The crowd is in full form here. Trying to cheer their Hawks on as they're trying to break the deadlock here. It is a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. The bases are full of Hawks. And here comes the 0-1 offering to Kawase. As Tanaka kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses inside. And the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Living room says he was 4-0 against his opponent. And he couldn't stop trying to play or hit shots. That's the way it goes sometimes. He was just off his game. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the shortstop Kawase. As Tanaka holds in, now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball missing inside. And the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The crowd is making their noise. And Tanaka here, as we said before, 2 walks already in the first 4+ innings. Not like the veteran right-hander. And then, of course, the mistake he made on the coverage. Something I learned about Tanaka the other day, as here comes the 2-1 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in on it and making the catch is the center fielder. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's over the head of the catcher. And that is going to cash in Masuda from third. As Tatsumi had come in, he fired the ball on the run. And all 5s all around, high 5s all around for the shortstop Kawase. I have to say, though, that was not a deep fly ball. It was more of a looping liner into center field. The center fielder did great to have to come in to make that catch. It looked like he was almost going to drop in. It was just above the shoestrings. And then tagging at third and heading home was the runner Masuda, and he scores the second run to break the deadlock here. It's now a 2-1 gain for the Hawks. And now it is going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. So there's runners at first and second as Takuya Kai did not advance. There's now 2 gone, and here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting Makihara, and he takes a fastball low for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kai, the runner at second. Shudo, the runner at first. There's 2 gone here in the 5th inning, and it is now a 2-1 ball game. And here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. The count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher Simatani, and he's ready to go back to work. Here comes the 1-1 offering. He holds set, checks the runner, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. Tanaka already up to 87 pitches here in the 5th inning. One would think he may have another inning left on the docket for him tonight. But he has not been the most efficient with his bullets here, that's for sure. Just a couple of notes here. Don't forget, we are going to be back with these same 2 teams tomorrow night. 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern if you're in North America. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It's going to get past the diving second baseman, Watanabe. Coming around second and heading home is Kai. They got the runner hung up between first and second. Now the runner hung up over at third. They lose the runner between first and second. They throw over to third, and they lose the runner at third. It's going to be a base hit and an RBI as Takuya Kai scores the 3rd run of the inning. A single and an RBI for Makihara. They had them all hung up, and they couldn't get the other ones out. As Shudo goes all the way around to third. They almost had him thrown out at third, but he was able to scamper back in time, and they were just unbelievable defensive play here, or maybe lack of defensive play by the Golden Eagles. So 3-1 is the scoreline now, and that's going to bring up the right fielder Yuki Yanagita. And it brings the catcher out to the mound to try to settle down the veteran right-hander. I was saying before about Masahiro Tanaka. One of the things I learned about Tanaka was in his childhood, he was a teammate with Hayato Sakamoto, the shortstop for the Yomiuri Giants. And on top of that, Tanaka also, as a veteran, he was a catcher in his younger years as well. He pitched and he caught because of his strong arm. Of course, once he moved into high school and into junior high, he was, or the equivalent of junior high, solely a pitcher. So here comes the first offering to the left-handed hitting Yanagita as everything is all settled. And the first pitch is a fastball that swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It's a base hit. It's going to bring in another run. Heading home is Shudo, and stopping at second is Makihara, and that's going to increase the lead to 4-1. A RBI single here by Yanagita. Our friend Eric Cheng, who was in here earlier on and said 6.5 was probably a safe bet. Well, I have to tell you, 6.5 is about to fall here, as it is a 4-1 ball game. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despania. And the Hawk bench is up with their arms raised, as they've got a 3 spot on the board here in the bottom of the 5th. So Despania steps to the plate. Tanaka gets himself a new baseball, and he's ready to go back at it. Actually, Makihara made it all the way around to third, so it's runners on the corners. So here comes the first offering here to Despania. And there's a fastball that misses down, and it's ball 1. The count is 1-0. Our friend Eric Sanchez says, I'd still take Tanaka over Thor. The Phillies got fleeced. Yeah, I'm going to reserve a little bit of thought on that right now, because I'm not sure if long-term what the Angels are doing over there with their organization. Short-term, it might look like a short-term fleecing, but long-term might be something else. There's a Split finger pitch, waved that and missed, and the count is 1-1. The Phillies finally gave up on Mickey Moniak, however you say his name. The first overall pick. Absolute bust. So here comes the 1-1 offering as Tanaka holds at the chest level, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 on Despania. So 4-1, the Hawks have the lead. Runners on the corners with 2 out. And they're looking for more here in Fukuoka. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Despania. One would think he's going to get a steady diet of split fingers here. The runner at third is Makihara. The runner at first is Yanagita. And here comes the offering from Tanaka. He kicks and he fires. It is a split finger pitch as called. And Despania is, they say he fouled it off. Got a piece of it. The home plate umpire waving his hands. I want to see that one again. I didn't think he was even close. That's not something that can be reviewed. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the looks of it, he probably was getting some voice from the dugout as he put his hand up toward the Eagles dugout. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Tanaka. And he waits and he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, and now Despania has gone on strikes. It was 1 pitch a little bit delayed, and he is done for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before damage has been done. There were 3 runs in the inning. 3 runs on the benefit of 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left the board. We are now through 5 complete. It is a 4-1 ball game here. We'll be back in just a moment. Our friend Eric, we'll come back and chat with him and chat with everybody else in the chat once I can collect myself. We like to call this the Japanese halftime, as it is a little longer delay between the 5th and the 6th innings, as they'll come out and clean the area around the bases. And we'll return here in just a couple moments. Hang tight, everybody. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. Today's Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 6th inning coming up here. It is a 4-1 lead for Fukuoka. We're just chatting with the chat a little bit here. Our friend Eric Sanchez says that Moniak hit a home run in his first game, but the kid is definitely a bust, no doubt. Also, to the outfield play over there, I'm kind of interested to see what's happening over there. Our friend Breathe Deep is in the house tonight. He says 3 more runs for the over. He asked the question, how can I watch this game in the United States? Well, we'll give you the information. We can't post the link, so you're going to need to be able to use your mouse and your computer and a little point and click, and we can help you out that way. So the easiest way for you to do it is to go to Google and type in Live QQ. And once you do that, you're going to get to a page where it's going to be a lot of Asian stuff, and you're going to have to then use your Google Translate to be able to move around. But I think it was one of our friends earlier said, if you go to the bottom of the page, that's where the live stuff is. You'll be able to lock in something there. And I'm sure there's some others in the chat that will help you out. Our friend Alexander Leggett is in the house tonight. We welcome him. He is a fan of the Washington Nationals. And at this point in time, we feel sorry for you because there was a perfect game going on over there. And also, Alexander Leggett says, or look for Reddit's NPB sub. That's also correct, too. You can go over to that one as well. They'll be able to give you some of that there as well. So Eric says it was quite easy to find. We always say that make sure you bookmark our page and give us the sub, as we like to help everybody out here too. And then what people do is they sync the audio from us to the game that they're watching. So that way there we can interact with the chat. You guys can enjoy the game, and hopefully we got everything on song with everybody here. So we do appreciate everybody who does check in. So just a couple of reminders and programming notes. We are going to have a midweek game next week as we're ready to go back to the action. It is a first pitch fastball delivered to Ryosuke Tatsumi, taken for a ball one on the inside part. Tatsumi tonight is 0 for 2. He's popped to first and popped to second in his 2 trips to the plate. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul, and the count is 1-1. The mountain holiday in Japan is August the 11th, so that means on Friday, or I believe it's Wednesday, August the 10th, we're going to be calling a game at 10 p.m. Pacific, so that is a rare midweek game. So our friend Breathe Deep says, is that what you're looking for? That's what you want. So it's live QQ. You're missing that part there. There's a breaking ball that drops in, and the count is now 1-2. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. It is fielded by Makihara. He throws to first. That is going to retire Tatsumi on a ground out 4-3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop Hiroto Kobakata. Our friend the living room gave you the link there. They probably not the best idea to pop the links, direct links in living room. From that point on, I'm going to make sure that is, you probably don't, even though you've got the ability to do that, we don't want to run it off the channel as we can get ourselves into some trouble. Congratulations to Angelo. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. And so then you'd have a very angry individual who would be coming back home in a couple of weeks if we got our channel ended up banned because of something like that. So 2 balls and no strikes, especially come from one of our moderators. So 2-0. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Kobakata. So rocking into the delivery here is the offering from the right-hander. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kobakata has the only run scored tonight for the Golden Eagles. He singled and stole the bases last time up. He came home on the RBI by Shimochi. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is going to remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kobakata. It's been a very entertaining ball game so far. And there's a fastball swung on. It is pop foul over on the first base side, and that's going to reach the seats, and the count's going to remain at 2-2. Our friend in the living room says, I've been doing it for weeks, and Steve told me to do it. That's why Steve is floundering around sometimes in our chat room. And that's the way it goes. So we've got 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kobakata. There's 1 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. The Golden Eagles are trailing 4-1 to the Hawks. And here comes the offering from Takeda as the split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a good night for baseball here. It's been a little more entertaining than last night's game. Certainly a better pace. There's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs. And the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kobakata. Kobakata had a really long first at bat. He had a 9-pitch at bat back in the first inning. As here's the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left center field. Coming in on it is the left fielder, and that is going to be cut by Yanagamachi, and that is going to retire Kobakata for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll leave it up to the designated hitter, Hideo Asamura. Our friend Breathe Deep says, are there many home runs in the NPB? Well, in the Pacific League, it seems to be a power outage this year. Not like the Central League. The Central League, there's been all kinds of home runs going on. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Samura's got himself a 2-out single. There was one of your guys that right there who would have had an opportunity to flash the power. So Asamura aboard with a 2-out single, and that brings up Hiroki Shimochi. Speaking of home runs, last night Shimochi hit 2 homers last night. He drove in all 3 of the runs, and he's got the only RBI in this game tonight. Eric Sanchez says, I love the pace of international baseball. American baseball needs to take note. You're absolutely correct. Eric makes a great point. The players don't just jog on and off the field. They run on and off the field. The in-between innings, it is much quicker, generally, the pace of play. Unless, of course, you're watching the game between these 2 teams last night, as there is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Shimochi. But generally speaking, the Japanese league, they move quickly. They don't waste any time. They don't fiddle around. If you get up to go to the bathroom or get a hot dog or a piece of sushi, you're probably going to miss an inning. So you don't really want to leave your seats. And there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. I know sometimes when you go to the games in the States or even in Toronto, if Rogers Center, for those who make it there, the games have a tendency to drag. So here comes the 1-1 offering, and it is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Shimochi. Alexander Leggett said, if we all did what Steve told us, we'd all be like Steve. Absolutely. We'd be in a whole host of trouble. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As Shimochi waiting on the offering here from Takeda. This is going to be the 102nd pitch of the ball game. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Living Room says, only like Steve on Money Mondays. Absolutely. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Takeda shakes off the side, and now he gets the one that he likes. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-2. A friend Eric says he's planning a trip to Korea to catch a few games with his dad. He's never seen KBO, but he'll absolutely love the atmosphere. I think you're going to love it, Eric. Be a fantastic opportunity. I haven't looked at the state of Korea's affairs these days. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called 3rd strike. And Shimochi stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it for the Golden Eagles in their half of the 6th inning. So for Tohoku in their half of the 6th, there was no runs, there was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. We'll be back here in just a couple moments, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in. We're glad that you are with us. We'll be right back. This is our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the sixth inning. It is going to be Akira Nakamura, Tatsuro Yanagamachi, and Nobuhiro Matsuda, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the batting order to come to bat. And it is going to be the right-hander Takeda is still supposed to be here. We're going to look to see what is going to happen. I wonder if we're going to see Nobuhiro Matsuda, as he is slated to come up third in the inning. He's a little late getting back into the dugout. Our friend Eric says, yeah, no, I think that's the wrong part of the Korea. The Kim you're talking about is in North Korea. But South Korea is a beautiful country. It would be kind of cool to see. There's a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0 to Nakamura. Nakamura batting .237 on the season. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to first and grounded to second in his 2 trips to the plate. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Only reason I ask what's going on in Korea is because in Japan, as there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul, and the count is 1-2. There's still not international travel open to people to do independent traveling in Japan. Excuse me. The June the 10th, they opened up the country to organized tour groups, and you can travel as under an organized tour group to Japan, but they're only taking 20,000 visitors a month. And there's a fastball swung on. This is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Nakamura is aboard with a leadoff single. That is going to bring up the left fielder, Tatsuro Yanagamachi. So there's talk that either in September or October that they are going to relinquish that, being the Japanese government. They will open up travel to the rest of the countries, but they have stated that there are countries that are considered, they have color coding systems of who is high risk and who is not. But those who live in Canada and the United States, we are considered in a lower risk region of the world. So we will be permitted to be able to travel as long as we have the recommended shots. So here comes the offering to Yanagamachi, but instead they throw over to first base. Diving back in time is the base runner Nakamura. So interested to see, because obviously we're going to get through this whole year and still not maybe potentially be able to get overseas. But I don't know what Korea is doing with their laws. They're obviously a different country. I don't know what they're allowing people from internationally to be able to come and to travel. And here's the pitch from Tanaka that misses down for a ball, and the count is now 1 ball and no strikes to Yanagamachi. So Nakamura, the runner at first. Yanagamachi here at the plate is 0 for 1 tonight. He's struck out and he's walked. He was thrown out at the plate trying to score in the 6th inning or in the 5th inning as he was forced out. As they throw over to first base, and diving back again is the base runner Nakamura. He hasn't shown any sign to bunt, but one would think this would be the situation for it. This is going to be the 100th pitch of the ball game for Masahiro Tanaka, as he is ready to deliver here to the left-handed hitting Yanagamachi. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole into left field, and that's going to take the runner Nakamura all the way over to third as he was running on the pitch. And that is going to put runners at first and third. Good piece of hitting. The shortstop, Kobakata, was moving over to cover the bag, and that ball ended up being hit right where the vacated position was. A nice piece of hitting by Yanagamachi. He's got himself a single. That's going to put runners on the corners, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Nobuhiro Matsuda. Our friend Breathe Deep says, should hit by pitch advance the batter to second base. Nah, I'm okay with them getting first base. I don't think we need to be putting those guys right into scoring position. Not at the professional level, that's for sure. Maybe at a youth level. I'd encourage the kids to focus a little harder on throwing strikes. So runners are on the corners. There's nobody out. And Matsuda steps up to the plate. He is 1 for 2 today. He's singled and scored a run. And here comes the first offering from Tanaka. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And this time, the catcher for the Golden Eagles, Simatani, I hate to kind of laugh. I feel bad for these guys tonight. The umpire's been hit 3 times, and he's just taken a foul ball, and the trainer's coming out to see him as he's hobbling around. And Takuya Kai has also taken one. It's a tough position to play in tonight. Both of the catchers and the home plate umpire have been targets of foul balls. So he's going to walk it off. And he'll be able to stay in the game as he shoos the trainer away. Our friend Mick says, yeah, that's definitely the deal here. The infield is in. They're going to try to cut the run off at the plate. They really don't want to go down 4 runs here. So here comes the first offering, or the 1 strike offering to the hitter, Masuda, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the umpire's been hit, I believe, 3 times tonight. He's taken 2 on the area below the elbow. I think he got 1 off the side of the leg as well. And then each of the catchers have had their share of foul tips on them right now. So now they're all joining the club. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Matsuda. Tanaka gets a new baseball, and he's rubbing it up. This is not the start that the Golden Eagles brass was looking for here. The Hawks are certainly enjoying the situation as they've got themselves a 4-1 lead. But as we said before, their bullpen is a bit taxed. So let's see what happens as they have to go to the pen tonight. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. And there is a split fingers pitch swung on. It is grounded over to the pitcher. He throws to first. They're going to get the runner at first base. They had the hold over at third as it was a swinging bunt down the third base line. The runner at third didn't move. That was Nakamura. And it is Yanagamachi goes over to second base, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. As I watch it again on the replay, Matsuda swung. It was fielded barehanded by Tanaka. Great job by him. But we're going to have to go up to the replay on this one. I don't know if they've got enough replays here. But here's what's going to happen. That's going to load the bases in the event. I don't know if the Hawks have any replays left. But they got to be looking up at that one. Let's see what's going to happen. No, Matsuda, they make nothing there. I think he was safe at first base, but he is retired for the out. That's a ground out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. It advanced Yanagamachi over to second. So you got runners at second and third, and now Takuya Kai steps to the plate. The infield is still in for the Golden Eagles. So that was a bizarre play. And they throw outside. It's a pitch out, which we don't see very often these days. I guess they thought there was a potential for a suicide squeeze. Speaking of lost arts in the game, how many times do we see pitch outs in Major League Baseball? Very rare on stolen base attempts, hardly ever these days. But there we saw one here as they were anticipating the potential for a suicide squeeze. So 1 ball and no strikes to the batter Kai. And here comes the 1-0 pitch as Tanaka kicks and he delivers. Again, they pitch out. And again, nothing going on here. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. So Kai tonight has a single and 2 trips. He's also scored a run, so keep our eye on the third base coach over here. They're going to decide to do this again. They pitched out the first 2 pitches to Kai. At what point do they have to consider walking him and then bringing up Shudo? I don't know, because Shudo runs well. He'll be a tough guy to double up. So here comes the 2-0 offering. And Tanaka steps off the backside of the rubber and he reaches down for the rosin bag and he'll get himself readjusted and set up again. So 2 balls and no strikes. Kai chokes up slightly at the end of the bat. And here comes the offering from Tanaka. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So no sign anywhere here in this situation of Kai wanting to bunt. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend breathed deep asked the question, have NPB pitchers ever been caught cheating with pine tar? We'll talk about that in a second here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And there is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And the count is now 2-2. Living Room says that's a good question. Can't comment on the pine tar stuff, but I can tell you this. They get so much rosin from the rosin bag on their hands. There's been times where the pitchers will throw a pitch and it looks like a puff of white cloud of smoke coming out of their hand as the ball's been released. That seems to be standard fare in the NPB. I've also seen that a little bit in the Korean League in years past. But as far as doctoring up the ball and loading it up with other stuff, I'm not aware of anything more recently. Some of our veteran listeners may have something else, but that has not really been the topic of discussion. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That pitch was at 95 miles an hour. Tanaka was able to reach back and put a little extra on that one. Keeps the count at 2-2 to Kai. But it is a good question by Breathe Deep. Our friend, the Living Room says, I'm seeing the puff of smoke right now in the Oryx game. Yeah, sometimes you'll see that they really load up all the rosin on their hand and it just comes out flying with the rest of it. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, and it is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. So Kai's going to get himself a second life again. I'm going to take a look at that one to see again if he did make contact with the pitch. I don't know about that one. That's the second time tonight that the home plate umpire has ruled a foul ball. I thought the pitch was just down in the dirt. So Kai is fortunate here as he's going to get himself another opportunity. A friend in the Living Room says the stuff is all over his pants. See how the rosin? So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some people either really like it or they really don't. And here's the 2-2 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. They have to throw down to first to be able to retire Kai. And that is going to retire him on a strikeout 2-3. He's gone for out number 2, and it's going to bring the top of the order up in Yukio Shudo. So this could be a big turning point here if Tanaka is able to retire the Hawks here without allowing them to score any more runs. He's at 111 pitches. Our friend Mick is championing us to add him onto Facebook. So here comes the first offering to Yukio Shudo. Shudo today is officially 0 for 2. He's walked, he's reached on a fielder's choice, he's flown out, and he's scored a couple of runs. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. That last pitch from Tanaka, 96 miles an hour. So he is starting to heat up here as the game has gone on. 112 pitches, and he's now getting the ball up at 95 and 96 miles an hour. This is vintage Tanaka here in the top half or bottom half of the 6th inning. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. And he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-1 to Shudo. So as I was mentioning, the question is would rather link B4 streams on bets and baseball talk, that type of thing. So Living Room asks that way. Yeah, we can't necessarily we can't list our links here. We're, as I said, that'll get us into trouble. But by all means, if you want to head over and you want to be able to, Mick to be able to help you out to get the links done, but you can also do that over on the Reddit, I understand, too. There's a ball that misses, and the count is 2-1. So Breathe Deep says, is the NPB World Series in October? It is actually, it's called the Japan Series, and the top 3 teams in each league make the playoffs, and then 2 play 3 in a system, and then the winner of that will play each other in the, I guess what they would call the Climax Series, and there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now is 2-2. And then the winner of each league will meet in the Japan Series to determine. And last year it was the Tokyo Yakult Swallows and the Oryx Buffaloes who met in the final, and the Swallows won the Japan Series last year. And the way that they're playing right now, it looks like they're on a collision course to go back to the finals again. So it kind of gives you the quick rundown of what to expect. Last year it was Tohoku and Chiba who played each other. And then the winner of that one was ended up going on to play in the finals against Oryx in the Pacific League. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now going to remain at 2-2. So the living room asks, how many games is the World Series, or how many games in the playoffs? So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Tanaka. He kicks and he delivers. It is a split-figure pitch swung on. It is chopped over to third, fielded by Moji. He throws to first. It's in time to nip the speedy Shudo, and that's going to be a ground out 5-3 for out number 3 here in the 5th inning. So there were no runs. There were 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard, and Tanaka is able to pitch himself out of a jam. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll be able to answer your questions about the playoff system after this. We're moving to the top of the 7th. It's 4-1 for the Hawks.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 7th inning, and coming up to bat here for the Golden Eagles, Takiro Okajima, Daichi Suzuki, and Igor Omoji scheduled to come here. It is a couple of changes in the lineup, as it is going to be Kenta Imamiya coming in to play some shortstop, and they do have a new third baseman as Masuda's day is done. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs to Okajima for ball 1. Count is 1-0. He started Takita 104 pitches in his first 6 innings of work, and he's on here to start the 7th. I love the old school baseball. There's a breaking ball that misses up, and the count's 2-0. So to get back to the question about the playoff structure. So the playoff structure, and if anybody wants to jump in, if I'm not describing this as best as I possibly can, there's a fastball that is swung on, and this is line foul into the right field seats, and that is going to run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on Okajima. So the 2 versus 3 teams played each other last year in the playoffs. And it was the first team to get to what you would call 3 wins would move on. Pretty simple, right? There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-1. But the second place team got a head start with a 1-game victory. So in other words, they started the series with a +1. And so there is a fastball that misses up and away, and Okajima is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. So that's how the first round operated. And I believe the second round operated something similar as well, as they've got the pitching coach coming out to the mound. It's interesting. Takeda right now is looking at his hand. It looks like he may have a blister that is popped open here. Let's see what's going to happen. He's called for the trainer. As the trainer is out to have a look here. This might be the end of the way. He's given the ball, and that is it. We're going to have a pitching change here, everybody, as Takeda's day is done. As he walks off the mound, he's shuffling his hand and feeling for his fingers, but he's walking off the mound. It's going to be over for him. We're going to have a pitching change, so we're going to see what the Hawks are going to do. It looks like they're going to have to be warming up a pitcher and giving him a little bit extra time. As Takeda, who had a really nice start here, his day is finished. He worked 6+ innings, only allowing the 1 run. But he is heading down into the training room. I don't think they're going to bring him back. They sometimes will do this. They'll go take him in behind the closed doors, and they'll go have a look at him. They do have action in their bullpen, but they're going to make a decision whether they're going to keep him in the game or not. So I'll just stay here and talk a little bit in terms of the structure. When they get to the Japan series, and then what happens is there used to be different structure where they used to have to win 5 games, but games could also end in ties. So there were some changes last year with regards to the way that the Japan series did play out, because last year with the COVID and some of the other stuff, it basically was the first team to win 4, and is how it ended up being. But there were times where it would be some of that stuff. And it looks like Fujimoto is coming out. And I have a feeling that it is going to be the end of the rope here for Takeda, as he is going to go over and talk to the umpire and let them know that that is going to be it. So for a while, it used to be where they would play all these other games or extra games. You could get tie games in the Japan series. And in fact, the last time there was a tie game was when the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks played the Hiroshima Toyo Carp back in 2018. It ended up going 6 games in the series, but it was the first team to get to the 4th win, as the Hawks were 4-1-1, and they got the 4th win to be able to do it. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, for everybody else's knowledge, they were 4-time back-to-back winners from 2017, 18, 19, and 20. But they had won 6 out of the 7 years, as they had also won in 2014 and 15. The Hokkaido Nippon Fighters had thrown a wrench into that in 2016. And then, of course, last year, the Swallows beat the Buffaloes in the finals. So that's just a little bit of information in terms of the history. But the 4 wins, but sometimes the series could go beyond 4 if there was a tie. That usually hadn't happened. I don't know when the last time that may have taken place. You go back historically in some of the stuff. So 4 wins was the sprint. That is basically the information I can kind of give you on that. We do have a pitching change. As the Hawks are going to the bullpen, they are bringing in a left-hander. I'm pretty sure we saw this fellow last night, as this looks like it's Shinya Kayama coming in to heat up here, but we'll get you the official note on that in just a moment. So I don't know if I answered that as well as I could have, but hopefully anybody else wants to chime in on that on the chat, they're more than welcome. Sean is in the house tonight. We welcome you, Sean. Thanks for popping in. Breathe Deep says they should start a player on second base in extra innings like they do in the MLB. I'm all for it in the regular season. Once you get past maybe the 12th inning, I'd rather see it go probably an extra couple of, I'd like to see maybe an extra couple innings that way. I'd like to see it played out at least until maybe the 11th or 12th inning, and then from there put the runner on. Don't need to go 23 innings to decide a victor, especially when you cut beer sales off in the 7th inning. So it is the lefty Shinya Kayama coming into the ball game, as he is going to take over here for Takeda. So Kayama is in. Takeda is out. And our living room asked the question, was Ohtani on the Hamp Fighters 2016 team? You bet he was. He broke in 2018 into the big leagues in North America. So there is a ball thrown over to first base, and getting back in time is Okajima. It's Daichi Suzuki who's batting here against the lefty. He's 0 for 2 today. He's popped out to third, and he has bounced into a fielder's choice. So 0 for 2 for Suzuki. Will be followed by Moji and Watanabe. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered down the right field line, and it's just going to be foul as it goes into the corner. And that is, as we watch the replay of that, it was just hooked foul, probably about 6 inches foul. And that's going to put the count at no balls and 1 strike to Suzuki. Our friend Breathe Deep says, I lost an over bet once because they ended the game in ties. I needed 1 more run. Yeah, the 12th inning, if the 12th inning is done, it is all over. Last year, they didn't even play extra innings. They just ended the game at 9. This year here, they've gone back to the extras. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. Looking back on the track and making the catch up against the wall is Yanagita. Suzuki sent it a long way, but just not deep enough. All the way to the deepest part of right field where Yanagita posted up against the fence to make the grab, and that is going to be out number 1. We watched the replay there as he took it right onto the warning track. And Suzuki is retired for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Igoro Moji. So Moji steps to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He's struck out looking, and he's popped the first. So a little bit of excitement there as Suzuki just needed a little bit more under that one. And another 3 or 4 more feet. Maybe he needs a little bit more time in the gym. So here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Moji. Moji entered the game tonight hitting .237. He has certainly been challenged at the plate here tonight. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball. This ball swung on. This ball is hit to deep right field. Racing back is Yanagita. He's going to make the catch on the run in the power alley. And that is 2 well-struck balls off of the pitcher Kayama here. And that is going to retire Moji for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Yoshi Watanabe. So there's been no mystery here off the left-hander. Whenever he's thrown up to the plate, they've been right on it, but they've been allowed outs to the right fielder, Yanagita. And we are going to have a pinch hitter here as Watanabe's day is done. So coming up to bat, this is going to be the right-handed hitting Yasuhiro Uchida. So Uchida coming into bat. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the third base side of home plate, but it's going to drift into the seats. Uchida, this is his 10th at bat of the year. He's got 1 hit. He's got no homers and 2 RBIs. He originally drafted out of high school back in 2013. 27-year-old. And with Tohoku his entire career, it's his 8th year. This is his 162nd game tonight. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is drilled foul. It's going to reach the seats down the third base line, and the count is now 0-2. One can see why Uchida's in here to pinch hit. He's got a little bit of juice in the bat. I like those 2 swings that he's taken here. So no balls and 2 strikes. I've been looking for any updates on Jose Marmolejos, who was with the Eagles for much of the year, one of their import players. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-2. I didn't know if Marmolejos has been released or if he's been sent to the farm or if he's hurt. Marmolejos was the AAA MVP last year with the Seattle Mariners organization. He was playing with the Golden Eagles at the beginning of the year. The other player that they had as an import player was Chris Gittens. And Gittens, on a swing of an at-bat early in the season, he separated his shoulder, and we haven't seen him since. There is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And Uchida is down on strikes for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. They do strand one aboard here in the seventh. We're moving to the bottom of the seventh inning. It is 4-1 for the Hawks. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here and for listening in. Here is our friend Steve again.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the call right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming up to bat for the Hawks in their half of the seventh inning. It'll be Hiroku Kawase, Taisi Makihara, and Yuki Yanagita, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters scheduled to bat here for the Hawks in their half. As we are getting the updates here, I'm just checking to see if Masahiro Tanaka is going to be back on for another inning of work, or if the Golden Eagles are turning to their bullpen. 1-3-0 so far, and they are turning to the bullpen. It is going to be number 60 on in relief. And this is going to be the right-hander who came in last night. This is Ishibashi, as they do have a new second baseman as well. We'll have to get you the update on that in a minute. And the first pitch to Kawase is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is looped into shallow left center field. This ball is going to get down for a base hit. And Kawase is aboard with his second hit of the ball game. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. So the hit parade continues for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, as Masahiro Tanaka's day is done. As he finishes, he's in line for the loss. Should the score line not flip at any point here. So Ryota Ishibashi, as we said, is in. He appeared in yesterday's ball game. So be curious to see how the Golden Eagles manage their pitching staff. There's also a defensive change, as we'll get that for you at second base. There's a new Golden Eagles second baseman, and they throw over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner is the base runner Kawase. Makihara, the hitter here, he's 2 for 3. He's got 2 singles in his 3 trips to the plate. He's also knocked in a run. here comes the offering. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1 ball and no strikes. The new second baseman for the Golden Eagles is Kazuki Muribayashi, as he has taken over here. And he'll hit in the place in the batting order where Watanabe was hitting or was pinch hit for by Uchida. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is tapped over to first. It is fielded by Suzuki. And they throw over to second, where they call the runner out, but it looks like that ball may have been a foul ball as he's coming back to the plate. So the second base umpire made the call out. But that is not the case. That's going to even the count at 1-1. As the first base umpire or the home plate umpire ruled it a foul ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Makihara. Runner at first is Kawase. And so here comes the offering now. There's a fastball swung on. And this ball is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And yet another hit, back-to-back singles here for the Hawks. That's going to bring up Yuki Yanagita. Pitch there. That's the one thing that you notice for the guys that are new to our channel. I talk about it quite a bit. Is the Japanese players are really good with their hands. They're much more handsy than the North American players. They like their 2-strike approach. I like the way that they're able to just throw the barrel head out at the ball and get it in play. They shorten up their swings. That would have been one of those ones right there by Makihara, who gets his 3rd hit of the ball game. Outside, they protect the outside corner of the plate. So he's going to be pinch run for, as they're going to have a runner in at first. So the runners are at first and second, and Yanagita steps in. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So I'm making my notes here. As I say, definitely, in my opinion, it is fun to watch the Japanese hitters. Some of these guys are absolute wizards with the bats. So here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul into the seats down the third baseline, and the count reigns now at 0-2. Our friend in the living room says Steve will never monetize his 500 subs with that video. Possibly so. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. I will say this. That Steve Rademacher will never be accused of unoriginal content on his channel because of some of the stuff that he produces. That's for sure. So here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander kicks and delivers. That's a fastball that misses outside to Yanagita. That runs the count now to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the right-hander Ishibashi here on in relief of Masahiro Tanaka with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Runners are at first and second, and Yuki Yanagita at the plate. He checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. I've told this story before about Carter Stewart, the former first-round pick of the Atlanta Braves, who's in the Fukuoka system. The Braves drafted him, and then I want to say, kind of lowballed him on offer, figuring that they saw his medical charts, and they weren't going to sign him. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It was grounded back off the pitcher up the middle, fielded by the second baseman, over to short, stop covering for 1, back to first, not in time. It's going to be a fielder's choice to erase the pinch runner for Makihara at second base. That's going to go down as a 1-4-6 putout for the first out of the inning. Kawase is going to advance to third, and Yanagita is going to be safe on the fielder's choice. That is going to bring up Alfredo Despaigne. Our friend Eric Cheng says some weird games going on. Tanaka gets touched, but somehow the Bay Stars and Shinichi are nothing. And they started with two awful pitchers, and they both have awful bullpens. That's what I say sometimes. You also have to look at the lineups that they also roll out, too. If they rolled out a regular lineup, or if they rolled out a lineup of some of their reserves, it also could impact that as well. You're absolutely correct. And here comes the first offering to Despania as there's a fastball that comes inside and it hits him. So Despania is going to be awarded first base. Boy, he wore that one pretty good. You don't see too many players get too angry, but Despania, the catcher, stepped in between, gave him a pat on the back, and down he goes to first base. So he gets clunked by the hit by pitch. And that's going to load the bases, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. So Despania, who in last night's ball game had himself a home run and a double and a single. Now the bases are loaded again here at Hawks. There's only one gone in the bottom of the seventh inning, and they're looking to add for more. Nakamura steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He has singled and grounded out twice. So here comes the first offering from Ishibashi, who checks the runner at second, and now he delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Breathe Deep says should be advanced to second. Well, then you'd have yourself an RBI on that one as well, because then they would have put runners at second and third. But Breathe Deep, you might want to get a hold of Rob Manfred on that one and see what he thinks. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura, and this is where it gets tough. Our friend the living room says the Eagles are 22-16 in day games. Well, this is an afternoon game, but one would never know it inside the dome. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-2. This particular dome closed today. As I said before, I've only seen it one time where I've called a Hawks game where the dome has been open. And I wonder what the reason for that would be. If it's because of the heat, maybe because of rain, maybe because the ball travels better when it's closed. I don't know. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to now 2-2. Shibashi checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded past the third baseman into left field. It is going to advance everybody up a base. It's going to be an RBI single for Nakamura. That's going to increase Hawks' lead to 5-1. And the Eagles are still not out of trouble as the bases are still loaded. That crosses Kawase in to score. The 5th run of the ball game. It advances Yanagita over to third. Despania is at second with that Nakamura single, and that is going to bring up the left fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So the Hawks still flapping their wings, whereas the Eagles' wings look like they may have been clipped in this one. Our friend Breathe Deep says getting hit by a 90-mile-an-hour fastball seems a little bit light. So the infield is still in. And here's the first pitch to Yanagamachi. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. For Yanagamachi today, he is 1 for 2. He's also walked. He was thrown out at the plate trying to score back in the 5th inning. So 5-1 is the scoreline. Again, the right-hander holds and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Yanagamachi. So one thing I would question, or would want to ask the manager for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, is why they would choose to follow Tanaka up with Ishibashi. And the reason I say that is because they're very similar in the way that they throw. The only difference is that Tanaka is the crafty veteran who's a whole lot better than the guy we got on the mound right now, as there's a fastball that misses outside and the count is 1-2. But I say that because sometimes when you have pitchers that have similar arm slots or similar type of motions and deliveries, you wouldn't piggyback them and bring them back to back. Maybe why not go with a lefty, or why not bring in Raku, who's a little bit more over the top, or maybe bring Chiha Sung in, who's a little bit more, maybe a little over the top at 3/4-ish. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is still 1-2 to Yanagamachi. But that would be the question I would ask the manager, is why choose this particular one to follow up Masahiro Tanaka? Because I don't see, as a hitter, you're already in the groove of facing Tanaka. There's not much difference between these two pitchers in terms of the arm slot. In terms of ability, there's night and day difference. So here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 4-hole. That's going to get into right field. It's going to score a run. Coming in is Okajima. He fires it in, and that's going to keep the bases loaded. Stopping at third is Despania. The runner, Nakamura, advances to second from first. And Yanagamachi's got himself an RBI single, his second hit of the game, as it cashes in Yanagita, and that will now increase the scoreline here in the ball game to 6-1. So the Hawks are starting to pile it on. If the defense was in normal position, they had the infield in, it probably would have been a double play ball. But they had all of the infielders were in that situation, and it blew right by the second baseman. I don't know why they did that in that spot. It's curious to me. Here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and it is ball one to the batter here. We've got, looks like we have a pinch hitter, and this is Kenta Imamiya. Was hitting for the first time tonight. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is tap foul just down the first baseline. And the count is now 1-1. So 1-1 Our friend Breathe Deep says, I wish I would have went all in. Well, there's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And sometimes you do that and it ends up blowing up on you. So Imamiya here with the bases loaded and 1 out, 1 strike. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. Moving over toward the foul line is Okajima. He makes the catch. Tagging at third and heading home is Despania. He's going to score. That's going to be the 7th run in for the Hawks. A sacrifice fly by Imamiya. He's going to get himself an RBI. And yet another run on the board here for Fukuoka. Watching the big fella tag from third and head home, being Despania with another run for the Hawks. It's the 3rd run here in the inning, as they now have a 7-1 lead. Tagging at second and heading to third was Nakamura. So there's runners on the corners now with 2 out. That is going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. And we want to thank J Money Beats for subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you and your support of what we do. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that catches the inside corner. The count is quickly 0-1 to Kai. For Kai tonight, he is 1 for 3. He singled and scored a run. He's also struck out twice. Our friend Eric says, that's betting for you. You never put enough right on the right bets and all in on the wrong ones. That's the way it goes sometimes, especially when you're looking at the game between the Dragons and the Bay Stars, as our friend Eric pointed out earlier on. That game there, last time I looked in, was all locked up at 0, and that's the way it stands in the top of the 9th inning, all locked up at 0s. So early in this one here, if you would have asked me if the Hawks and the Eagles would be at a 7-1 clip right now, I would have said no way with the 2 starters on the mound. And the matchup for a 3-2 ball game written all over it. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Takuya Kai. John Cardona in the house. We welcome him. Thank you for popping in. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Kai. As he kicks and delivers, it's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Kai, as he stumbled out of the box, got a good 2-hander there from the catcher to clear him out of the way. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kai. Our friend Mick says the Bay Stars need a run. They tied earlier this year with the Dragons, 0-0. Yeah, I remember seeing that. It doesn't happen. Ties happen, but 0-0 ties don't happen all that often. As here comes the 1-2 offering. Holding and now kicking and delivering. It's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats, and the count is now going to stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kai. We were talking earlier on about possibly maybe doing another game at 2 a.m., but I'm not sure that the way this game is going that we're going to be able to get off the air in time to get ourselves prepared for that one. So we may have to just settle in for the same 2 teams tomorrow night. And here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that's taken for a called 3rd strike. And Kai stood there like the house by the side of the road. He struck out for the 3rd time tonight. And that is going to do it. And that looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for the Hawks as their manager is coming out. But there was damage in the inning and lots of it. 3 runs scored by the Hawks on 4 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 7 complete. It is a 7-1 ball game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. And carry on with our chat with the chat. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Our friend Breathe Deep is tapping out. He's going to get back to work, and we appreciate you for being here and stopping in tonight. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow as these same 2 teams will go at it again for the 3rd game of the series. There is a pitching change as the Hawks have gone to the bullpen, as this is going to be their 3rd pitcher used on the evening. It is a right-hander coming in, and it is going to be number 20, and it's going to be Kaino into the ball game. This is Hiroshi Kaino. He's going to be taking over. It's his 9th appearance of the year. He's worked 7 2/3 innings. He's allowed 6 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 6, and he's got an ERA of 2.35 campaign. There are some other changes defensively, and we'll have to get those for you as we come around when they come to bat. because they're just a little bit too quick for us right now. So that is going to be the right-hander here. The 25-year-old is going to be turning 26 after the season. So Hiroshi Kaino on to face the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order for the Eagles. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. It is supposed to be Simitani batting here, but we do have a pinch hitter for the Golden Eagles. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the third base line, and that's going to run the count now to 1-1 strike. For the Golden Eagles, getting a chance to come in to pinch hit is Atsuki Muto. Muto on the season is batting .269. Got a home run and 9 RBIs. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal down to first base, and they say he didn't go. The count is now 2-1 to Muto. So one would expect we're going to see a new catcher coming in the bottom half of the inning. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Muto. And Kaino kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-0. I have to say, Kaino's come in and he's been throwing bullets. He's been heating it up at 97 miles an hour. Has the big right-hander. Our friend John Cardona says as there's a fastball that is swung on and check foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is now 3-2. John Cardona says, if the Bay Sours somehow score 2 runs, I win 2 bets. Have their team total over 1.5. And the full game is live over 1.5. Well, he certainly wouldn't have predicted a 0-0 scoreline in that one. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and Muto is going to be aboard with a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Ryosuke Tatsumi. Our friend Breathe Deep asked a question. He says about should I go all in on the over-under? I can't answer that one for you. That's something you're going to have to make a decision on. So John Cardona says he might lose both. Mick on the other side says they have a leadoff single. That's the last he saw on the Bay Stars. So here comes the first offering to Tatsumi. It's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes for Tatsumi today is 0 for 3 as he's been thrust back up into the leadoff spot. He has popped out twice, and he is grounded out to second. So here comes the 1-0 offering. As they kick and delivery, squares the bunt, and he pops that one foul. It's going to reach the netting behind home plate, and that's going to run the count to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Just taking a look here. That out-of-town scoreboard I've got with the Bay Stars and the Dragons. I got a runner at second with 1 out and 2 strikes on the hitter. It's Tyler Austin who's up to bat right now for the Bay Stars. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on it, missed. The count is now 1-2 to Tatsumi. I can tell you this much. Tyler Austin will not be squaring around a bunt. One would have to think. They got some more juice on deck with Sano coming to bat next. The Buffaloes are up 3-1 now on the Fighters. That's in the top of the 8th inning. Mark scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th. There's a fastball swung on it. Is chopped up the middle. Fielded by the second baseman. They throw over to first. That is going to retire Tatsumi on a ground out 4-3. As Kavaisi has now moved over to second base. And that is going to retire Tatsumi for the first out of the inning, but it's going to advance Muto over to second. That's going to bring up Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. So for Kobakata tonight, he is 1 for 3. He singled, he stole a base, and he scored the only run for the Golden Eagles thus far. Curious to see if Levon Moinello would be coming in for the 9th inning. Try to slam the door here for the Hawks if we can get through this 8th. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Kobakata. It's not going to be a safe situation, one would think. One would think that he's probably got one of those there. Our friend in the living room is tapping out. He says his tennis bet didn't come in, and his Eagles bet is going to kill his parlay, so he'll see everybody tomorrow. Well, we thank you for stopping in there, living room. So here comes the 1 and no strike pitch. It is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Breathe Deep says he didn't put it down. What is it? Was 8.5. Now it's up to 9.5. Well, with the runner at second base, you can see why it probably jumped. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. What's that old song that somebody used to say, go on, take the money and run? And sometimes, or maybe it's you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. It'd be better to walk away with a smaller stack than no stack at all. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. As Kobakata waits on the offering from Kaino. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and that's going to run the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So John's asking for, that's a link I got no problem putting in there because it's a free link. John Cardona wants to know, what site can I use to get stats? You can use the NPB website directly, but I don't particularly like that one as much. There you go, John. I dropped that in the chat for you. Use that to follow along as well, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 2-2 to Hiroto Kobakata. This is probably the best English one that I've seen out there. There's other ones in Japanese that are actually pretty good too, but problem is you've got to translate the page and everything else. This one here, I would say, is reliable about 87% of the time. There's some nights it's down, it doesn't work. It's completely crashed, but it's been pretty good this year. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2 to Kobakata. Runner at second is Muto. There's 1 gone as Kobakata is waiting on the 3-2 offering. John said he had it a while back, but as I said to you, it works pretty good. Last year it was down for sometimes a week or 2 weeks at a time. This year it's been very, very consistent. And here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Kobakata is retired on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. That is going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Hideo Asamura. So for Asamura, he steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He struck out looking and walked. So if somebody here is going to turn on a pitch, this is the guy who could do it. He's got 18 home runs on the year. He's 2nd in the Pacific League in home runs. So the right-hander Kaino comes set. He checks the runners. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Alexander Leggett says he's going to tap out as well. Well, we appreciate you. We'll be back on again tomorrow night, Alexander. It's going to be the same 2 teams. We're going to start this one at 9 o'clock Pacific or midnight Eastern. So just a little earlier start. So if you're not going to watch your Washington Nationals get slaughtered, come on by and stick around. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Asamura. This game here is It can be very difficult for the Eagles to get back. They'd have to do some damage here and maybe do a little bit more leading into the 9th inning, but they're down by 6. And here comes the 1-1 offering. Kino checks the runner, and he now delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-0, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Asamura. As we said, we'll start adjusting our schedule on the channel as we have started to put up some of our content for the week. The ball game tomorrow. We'll also be following it up with the game on Wednesday. It'll be the Oryx Buffaloes. And that one, I believe, Oryx and Tohoku. There's a fastball taken that is, I'm not sure where that pitch was. That pitch looked pretty good. That's going to run the count to 3-1 now on Asamura. So 3 balls and 1 strike. So here we go back at it again. 3 balls and 1 strike to Asamura. The runner at second is Muto. There's 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. Golden Eagles are looking a little depressed there on their bench. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As they pan the bench, Eagles are definitely not in great form. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander Kino ready to go again. He looks at the sign from his catcher Kai. And here comes the payoff pitch to Asamura. As the right-hander comes set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted into the seats foul down the first baseline. That keeps the count at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Eric Cheng, who was in here earlier, I'm not sure if he's still sticking around or not, but he'd mentioned about there was a fella named Tokyo Brandon who used to give his picks for the NPB. I went over and did check out his channel. He hasn't done anything in about, looks like over a year. And so apparently he was picked up by Wager Talk. And they had about 1,200 subscribers to Tokyo Brandon, and went to another channel that's got nearly 100,000. The 3-2 pitch is a fastball that misses down, and that is going to be ball 4. As Asamura is going to get himself his second walk of the ball game. That's going to bring up Hiroki Shimouchi. It's also going to bring up the pitching coach. Shimouchi's been swinging a hot stick. He's got a single and 3 trips tonight. But he had 2 home runs, and he's driven in all 4 runs so far in this series. So all 4 runs in the series driven in by Shimouchi. The RBI single back in the 4th inning here for the Golden Eagles, and then the 2 homers and the 3 RBIs last night. So if you want somebody at the plate, this is your guy right here. And the right-hander Kino ready to get himself set here to face the left-handed hitting Shimouchi. As the conference is over. So the runner at second is Muto. The runner at first is Asamura. We've got ourselves a spot here in the ballgame where there could be more damage here. And here's the pitch. It is a first pitch fastball that misses low, and the count is 1-0. As I keep mentioning, I talked about this the other night. I really like the approach at the plate by Shimouchi. It's the way that he's able to battle and be able to dig in here against the offerings of the pitchers that he faces, as there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. He's got good discipline. He really lays off pitches. He's put good swings on good pitches. He's able to work the count. So 2 balls and no strikes. This is one of those times where you'd think that he could come through. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Pitch was a little bit up in the zone, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Shimochi. Our friend John Cardona says it's now 1-0 Bay Stars in the top of the 9th inning. So here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-2. Our friend Breathe Deep, who was in here earlier on, and he said the line dropped back down to 8.5. Well, you might be able to cash in on something like that because you got the right guy at the plate with 2 balls and 2 strikes and runners at first and second. And here comes the 2-2 offering as Kaino comes set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 3-2 on Shimochi. Well, runners are going to be in motion here with Muto at second and Asamura at first. The manager, Fujimoto, for the Hawks is sitting in the dugout, and he looks highly unimpressed at what's going on right now. This is going to be the 30th pitch of the inning by the young right-hander. So the runners are going to be in motion, and Shimochi is going to be ready to trigger one here. Here comes the 3-2. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit to first. It is fielded by Nakamura. He races to the base, and he wins the race over Shimochi. It's going to be a ground out to 3 for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the 8th inning for the Golden Eagles. Well, there was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and there were 2 left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 7, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the call right after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change as it is going to be another right-hander coming in here for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It is going to be the right-hander Taisi Surasaki. He is appearing in his second ball game of this series. He came in relief last night. This will be the third pitcher used tonight by the Golden Eagles. So Taisi Surasaki coming in. To replace Ishibashi. So he is going to be facing the top of the order for the Hawks. Slated to come to bat will be Shudo Kawase and Makihara. Although Makihara was pinch run for, so we'll have to get the update on that to know who is coming in here. It's Nomura who will hit there in that spot. So that is what it's looking like here. So Nomura will hit third in the inning. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses up and away to Shuto, and the count is 1-0. For Shuto tonight, he is officially 0 for 3. He reached on a fielder's choice. He's walked. He's stolen a base. He's scored a couple of runs. But no official hits here tonight. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend John Cardona says now he needs at least 1 run in the bottom of the ninth to avoid losing both of his bets. Yeah, well, it's crazy how some of this goes on sometimes. I don't know what they've got for a closer in that one. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. I know for sure that the Dragons do not have Tom Selleck coming off the bench. I can guarantee you that. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering to Shuto. As they kick and deliver, it's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner. The count is 2-2. Our friend Mick is pretty pumped. He's got 2 out of 3. Says he needs the Tigers to get that win tonight. As it is getting on in the evening here, I don't think we're going to be able to get that done. My rule of thumb is this game's got to be done by 1:15 for me to stick around to be able to do that next one. And I don't think we're going to have the time to get prepared, which is kind of unfortunate because that would have been kind of fun to see that. John Cardona says, I know nothing about the Bay Stars closer as Yamazaki is coming in to get it done. So here comes the 2-2 offering. As he kicks and delivers, it is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see a couple other notes. We're going to be calling the game tomorrow night between these two teams, so hopefully you guys can pop back in again. We're also going to be calling the game on the Mountain Holiday, so a midweek, 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern game. That'll be on the Wednesday North American time. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down. The count now goes to 3-2. And then we'll resume our action next weekend. We haven't looked that far ahead to get the schedule for that stuff. But there are going to be a couple of more midweek games coming up here in August that we are going to do as well. And once we get to the 26th, we're going to take 10 days. There's a fastball that misses down. And that misses as Shuto's going to draw himself a walk. And that is going to be a base on ball for Shuto, and that'll bring up the shortstop, what was now the second baseman, Kawase. Kawase is 2 for 4 tonight. He's got a single, a double. He's flown to center and grounded out. So I'm going to be away for about 10 days, so we're not going to be able to get on the calls for a couple of weekends. It's just the way it goes sometimes, and we'll run a few things off of the channel, but nothing major. No live stuff, none of that stuff. But then we will be back in the month of September where we'll bring everything home up until the playoffs. Throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Shuto. So that's what we're looking at here. It's kind of good that maybe this game's going to go a little longer. We're starting to lose the voice. There's a first pitch fastball taken on the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Kawase. So no balls and 1 strike. As I said, this game has had some pretty good tempo and pace to it through the first 4 innings. And the wheels kind of fell off the apple cart as everything started to really slow down. Last night's game went 4 hours between these two clubs. Tonight, I'm going to say that they're probably on a more like a 3.5-hour pace. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there goes the runner down to second. They throw down, and ball gets by the shortstop, over the head of the shortstop, Kobakata, and going all the way around to third is Shuto. So they're still running here in the 8th inning, up by 6. Oh boy. You're getting into an area of the ball game where if this was North America, there might be a few words said by the two teams to one another. He's stolen base for Shuto. He goes over to third on the error by the catcher. Our friend Mick says, I just realized my parlay is still alive from earlier because the Diamondbacks lost against the Rockies. Dodgers -1.5 and Yankees left on that one. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded over to third. Fielded by Moji. He throws to first. That is going to nip the runner Kawasi at first base. It's a ground out 5-3. But it's going to keep Shuto over at third. That ball was hit right down the third baseline. He had to scamper back to the bag to avoid being tagged. So that's a ground out 5-3. And that is going to bring up the batter Nomura, who's going to hit for the first time. He comes in to replace Taisi Makihara, who was 3 for 4. So Nomura steps up. On the season, he's batting .223. He's got 8 homers and 17 runs batted in. So Nomura waggles the bat. He's waiting on the offering from the right-hander Surasaki, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So 1 away here. The runner at third is Shuto. We're here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Hawks have a 7-1 lead over the Eagles. This game here has been the story of a couple of big innings for the Hawks. They scored 3 runs in 2 different innings, in the 5th and in the 7th. Eagles unable to stop the bleeding in those innings. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Nomura. Here comes the 2-0 offering. As the right-hander Surasaki holds at the belt. And now he fires. It is a pitch that misses down, but Nomura had pulled the trigger on it, and it's now a 2-1. That last pitch there was a breaking ball, and Nomura just couldn't hold up on it. He definitely swung at ball 3, that's for sure. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Right-hander Surasaki comes set. He checks the runner over at third, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count runs even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We do appreciate you all for hanging in here. Sticking it out with us here for the end of this one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. The right-hander Surasaki holds. And now he's ready to deliver. And he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Nomura is retired for the second out. And that is going to bring up the right fielder Yuki Yanagita. Well, like the Yanagita's night is done, because we are going to get a pinch hitter here. I'll get you the specs on that in just a moment. So it looks like it is going to be Kenta Tanegawara coming to the plate. So Tanegawara, left-handed hitting outfielder. He's a young guy. He's only 25 years old. Batting 188 on the season. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. Tanegawara ready to face the first offering. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So this is the time of the ball game, and the type of game where you've got to have the sharp pencil and the eraser all handing. They have the pinch hitter Karose on deck. I didn't catch what number he's wearing. There's a ground ball, and it's up the middle for a base hit. It's into center field. That's going to cash another run in. Shudo is going to score, and moving into second is Tanagawara with a double. It's going to increase the lead to 8-1 as he's got himself an RBI double here. Shudo comes around to score. And that is going to bring up the pinch hitter Karose. So 8-1's the scoreline here for the Hawks. Not much else to say really at this point, other than they can't stop the bleeding. It's just the hit parade continues tonight. I've got that as the 14th hit. The attendance for tonight's game is 29,578. I'm not so sure about that one. There's a lot of empty seats around. So this is going to bring up a pinch hitter. And this is our friend Kenta Karose. I say our friend because was wearing the number 126 on the weekend. When we called the last Hawk games, and they list him as number 12. So I don't know what he's actually wearing tonight. He takes the first pitch down for ball one. He's pinching here for Alfredo de Spagna, whose night is done. So the big fella stands from the right side. He's 1 for 5 in his career. Made his debut last week. And here comes the pitch. Now there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is now 2-0. So it looks like they've got him finally down to his number 12. He was wearing number 126 last weekend. Never seen that at a top flight of a professional game. Does have an RBI on the year. So he's now back to the conventional 2-digit number. Our friend John Cardona says he needs a miracle. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. There's not a whole lot of action left in this one other than what's the scoreline going to end up at? Is this going to be a 8-1 ball game? Is it going to be a 9-1 ball game? Are the Eagles going to score a couple more? Really, all we've got left here is the folks that like to put their money down on the ball games. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is now 3-1. What's the final outcome going to be? Because the Eagles pitcher here is struggling right now. He's struggling to throw strikes. And when he does, they hit him hard. So waggling the bat is the right-handed hitting Karose. He's waiting on the offering here from the right-hander Surasaki. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 3-2. So much similar like last night. This game here took forever to end. I'm not sure about in the Central League, but it looks like the Dragons I'm still seeing here are down to their final strike now. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. It's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring up the first baseman Akira Nakamura. So the manager for the Golden Eagles making his notes as Masahiro Tanaka looks on. Masahiro Tanaka probably going to, if he falls here in this one, he's going to go to 6-8 on the year. So 2 games below 500. So Nakamura steps up to the plate. He's 2 for 4 tonight. He's got a couple of singles and an RBI. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Surasaki, who delivers a fastball swung on. This ball's lined over the head of the second baseman into right field. He's going to get down for a base hit. Digging around second and heading home is Tanegawara. He's going to score the 9th run of the ball game. It's a base hit and an RBI for Nakamura. And again, the hit parade continues. So another run on the board here in the 8th inning for Fukuoka. They just can't seem to get the bleeding to stop. This was Major League Baseball. They'd be calling in the bullpen catcher to start pitching. That's the 15th hit of the night pounded out by the Hawks. They have brought their hitting shoes with them today for sure. Scheduled to come to bat is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So Yanagamachi comes up to the plate. He's raised his average to 290 with a couple of hits tonight. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball one. The count is 1-0. Yanagamachi, 2 for 3. He's got 2 singles, an RBI. He's also walked and struck out in this ball game tonight. Quietly putting together a very nice season. And here comes the 1-0 offering as Surasaki checks the runner at second. Now he delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. Our friend Mick said that his phone said that Oryx lost. Oryx won that game 3-1. You're looking at the hit totals. Maybe in the hit totals, Oryx had 9 hits and the Fighters had 7 hits. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Mick's looking at the wrong thing there. Those were the hit totals. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander leans in. He gets the sign. And here comes the offering here to Yanagamachi. And that's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is now 2-2. Well, this one here is definitely a problem. 29 pitches here in the inning for Surasaki. Unable to throw strikes. When he does throw strikes, they knock him around. So this is where they're trying to save some of their other arms. Talked about this a little bit last night, where sometimes you got to lose a game to win 2, or maybe you got to lose 2 to win 1. The Eagles here are trying to preserve their bullpen. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly. They throw to first, and that is going to retire Yanagamachi on a ground at 4-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. But more damage done here by the Hawks. 2 runs in the inning on a couple of more hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 9th inning. There is going to be a pitching change. We are at 9-1 for the Hawks. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back here in just a couple moments after this from our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change coming here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Looks like it's going to be Hugo Bando coming in. We're going to check and see if that is the case here. That's exactly what it is. Hugo Bando is the reliever. The big right-hander is appearing in the 17th game of his season. Worked 14 innings. He's allowed 12 hits. He's walked 4, struck out 11, and he's got an ERA of 3.86. There are some changes defensively for the Hawks, but as I say, we won't catch up on those ones here, as we are a little bit behind. But Hugo Bando is in, as he is the fourth pitcher used tonight by Fukuoka. So he's going to be facing scheduled to face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order. It's supposed to be Takira Okajima, Daichi Suzuki, and Igoro Moji. You come to face him here in the top of the 9th inning. So just as a reminder, we will wrap up the out-of-town scoreboard after this one when it's over. We'll give you the recap on this. John Cardona said he had a good day today until he touched the NPB tonight. And here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball to Okajima that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Rocking into the motion and now delivering as a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Okajima. Here comes the delivery from the right-hander. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Okajima. Now the right-hander ready to deliver again. He kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted up in the air over on the third base side. Moving over underneath it is Nomura, and he makes the catch. Kojima is going to be retired on a pop-out to the third baseman for out number 1. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. So for Suzuki, he's 0 for 3 tonight. Suzuki has popped to third. He has popped to He's popped to third. He has flown out to right field. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Bando ready to go again. Rocks into the motion. Kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Moving back underneath it and making the grab is Sato, who's come in defensively. And that is going to retire Suzuki for the second out of the inning. Now the Golden Eagles are down to their final out here as they are trailing 9-1. So it's scheduled to bat as Igoro Moji. As we take a look here to see what the Eagles are bringing Moji to the plate or not. Yes, he is. He's coming into bat here against the right-hander Bando. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Moji. Moji is hitless in 3 trips. He's struck out once, popped to first, and flown to right. And here comes the offering from Bando. It's another breaking ball that just misses low. The count is 1-1. It's like the home plate umpire has no desire to leave early, as that last pitch looked like it was a pretty close pitch. There's another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and now the count goes to 1-2. Pitch there didn't look like it was any better than the last one that Bando threw up to Moji. So here's the 1-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Eagles are down now to their final strike. It is a pretty quiet dugout for Tohoku. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. As Bando kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 2-2. So as John Cardona says earlier, there's some weird happenings going on in the NPB tonight. The score lines were definitely intriguing across the board. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 9-1 for the Hawks here in the top of the 9th inning. Eagles down to their final strike. This one here is about ready to be wrapped up. Here comes the 2-2 offering. As Bando rocks into the motion and he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses down. And that now is going to run the count to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shimoji get on. It'll be a pinch hitter that'll be coming up for the Golden Eagles. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs. And that is going to be ball 4. That's a 2-out walk for Moji. And that is going to bring up the second baseman. It looks like it's Murakazi is the one who came in the pinch hit for the other second baseman who left the game, Watanabe. After you do a double check on this, or is it Murray Biashi? It is number 66, Kazuki Murray Biashi, coming up. It's his first plate appearance of the ball game. In the year, he is 3 for 15. No homers and no RBIs. So here comes the first offering. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Murray Biashi. So the right-hander holds set. Gets his sign from Takuya Kai. Here comes the 0-1 offering. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Bando looking to finish this one up as he's way ahead on the young second baseman. So the right-hander gets his sign. He nods in approval with Takuya Kai. Comes set. And here comes the 0-2. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And this one is over, everybody. It is a 9-1 Hawk victory. As they've done it here, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, on 1 runner left aboard. We're now through the final score of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 9, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. Stick around, everybody. Come on, I'll be back in just a moment. We're going to wrap up the out-of-town scoreboard as well as give the recap on this one, and we'll call it a night.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. It's Dave's Zero Thought Sports Card. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Okay, everybody, we'll take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. There's 3 finals now, including this one across the NPB. All the early games are done. In the Central League, the Yokohama Dada Bay Stars scored a run in the top of the 9th inning to knock off the Chinichi Dragons 1-0. 1-6-0 for the Bay Stars, 0-8-0 for Chinichi. It was Erie getting the win. He goes to 2-0. Martinez takes the loss. He's 2-2. Yamazaki got his 23rd save for Yokohama. The other 2 games, the Giants and the Swallows, Tigers and the Carp, all are going to be later starts. They go off at 5 a.m. Eastern or 2 a.m. Pacific. In the Pacific League, the Oryx Buffaloes knocked off the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters 3-1. 3-9-0 for the Buffaloes, 1-7-0 for the Fighters. Azuma got the win. For the Buffaloes, it was Tanaka taking the loss for the Fighters. Honda got his 2nd save. It was Masahiro Tanaka who hit his 12th home run of the year for the Buffaloes. And the other game underway in the Pacific League, it is the Saitama Cebu Lions with a 1-0 lead over the Chibalote Marines. That game is in the top of the third inning. Well, your final here was a 9-1 ball game for Fukuoka. Fukuoka scored 1 in the third inning, and then Tohoku tied it up in the fourth. Then the Hawks added 3 in the fifth, 3 in the seventh, and 2 in the eighth for that 9-1 victory. He got the scoring going, did the Hawks in the third inning with 2 out, a walk to Yukio Shudo, then a RBI double by Hikaru Kawase got the ball game going with the first run as the Hawks jumped out to a 1-0 lead. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles scored a run in the top of the fourth inning, a leadoff single by Hiroto Kobakata. He stole second, and then with 1 out, Hiroki Shimochi singled him home to tie the ball game at 1. But after that, it was all Hawks. In the fifth inning, a leadoff walk to Yanagamachi, then a single by Matsuda, a single by Kai, a fielder's choice by Shudo brought home the first run. Then Hikaru Kawase knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly to center field. And then an RBI single by Makihara and an RBI single by Yanagita had increased the scoreline to 4-1. In the seventh inning, it was Kawase again with a single to lead off the inning. Then Nomura bounced into a 1-4-6. Then he singled. Then Yuki Yanagita bounced into a fielder's choice, put runners at the corners. Alfredo Despaigne was hit by a pitch. Then Akira Nakamura singled home a run. And then Tetsuro Yanagamachi came up and singled home a run, kept the bases loaded. And then it was the first baseman Nobuhiro Matsuda hit a sacrifice fly, and that was able to score the third run of the inning. So at that point, it was 7-1 for the Hawks. Then in the bottom of the eighth inning, a leadoff walk to Shudo. He stole second. And then with 2 out, it was an RBI double by Yanagita. Check that by the pinch hitter Tanegawara for Yanagita. And a walk to Despaigne, and an RBI single by Nakamura. And that increased the score to 9-1, and that's how this game ended. All right, everybody, it was a long one tonight. We appreciate you guys for all being here. Our friend Mick says, I wish you were going to do the Hanshin Tiger game. And John Cardona says, any opinion on that game? I checked that one out earlier, and I looked at the starters. It's Shintaro Fujinami going against Drew Anderson for the Carp. If I had to give you my gut feeling, I would say the edge goes to the Carp in that one for tonight. And that's how I would look at it, just based on the starting pitchers. But that's all I can give you because my voice is about to crash. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you all for being here. It's been another Last Raps Baseball video production. We're back on again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight on the East Coast. Hopefully you can join us for that one again. Same 2 teams. We'll do it all over again. Have a great night, everybody.